How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. I am Tim Pool, along with...
What's up? I'm Adam Krigler. How you doing?
And...
the Invisible Lady.
The Invisible Lady.
Lydia of Whiterun.
Lydia of Whiterun.
Yeah.
What does Lydia do? Bears your burdens?
Yes.
Skyrim reference.
Yeah.
So the World War III is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed it is.
You know...
You want to hit record?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Adam.
F
Got
and chat.
one.
Let's get an F and chat going.
But we didn't actually start the segment.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
There are the Fs.
It's the official start.
The Fs are now like the starting pistol shot. Like, everyone's like, yeah, F.
Start your engines.
Yes.
So... everybody's been saying World War III every single time something happens. I remember a few years ago, it was, what is it called? Israel did one of they call it mowing the lawn, when Israel fires a bunch of missiles and blows up a bunch of missile sites in Gaza.
Oh,
That's what they call
mowing
it?
the lawn?
They call it
Seriously?
mowing the lawn.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
It happens like every 2 years.
Jeez.
Oh.
But I remember that happening in like 2014 or something, and people are like, oh man, World War III, because Iran's going to retaliate, and then nothing happens. And then, then you have this recent thing where, Iraq and Soleimani, and everyone's like, oh, World War III, and then nothing happens.
Yep.
But only a couple of months later, like not even, we have this global pandemic, and while everyone's paying attention to themselves, a bunch of things have started happening around the world. So we've got some crazy conspiracies for you today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It's pretty intense, this stuff, though. I mean, it's not, some of it's not conspiracy. It's like, this stuff's actually happening now.
I'm a skeptic.
That's what is crazy to me. Some of the stuff that's actually happened.
And so we've got a bunch of stories. When you zoom out of the smaller picture and you look at the whole world, it does kind of look like World War III is coming.
It really does.
Because there's like stuff happening in China, there's stuff happening in Iran, there's stuff happening in Venezuela. That's the lead story, right? Venezuela rammed a cruise ship, opened fire, sank. Trump's deploying the Navy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy. But we
This
also,
is nuts.
beyond that, we've got stories about 5G. Someone apparently torched a 5G tower. And then it turns out there's a woke movie called Cuck that got $0 at the box office.
Nothing. They made
nobody
nothing.
went to see it.
I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have wanted to see it.
You didn't see
I
it.
don't want to see that.
It's true,
Nobody
I did
did.
not.
So
Nobody did.
Yeah.
Before we get started, make sure you join in the super chat. By giving a super chat, we will do our best to read as many comments as we can. But admittedly, lots of people are already putting in sending us super chats, so we'll read what we can. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. It really does help the show. And we're gonna, what else? Follow us. We got our names up above, and subscribe, notification, blah blah blah.
Yeah, man.
Follow us and
This story is
Spread it.
insane,
Are you ready?
man.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I swear.
I didn't believe it
Let me
either.
let me read the headline. Venezuelan Navy vessel sinks after opening fire on a cruise ship. Trump recently announced that yesterday, they announced Trump was deploying anti-drug naval vessels to Venezuelan waters. Or not to their waters, but near there.
Yeah.
That story came out before this story. This story's coming out now. But this incident happened on March 30th. So Trump knew that Venezuela attacked a cruise ship.
Okay, so this didn't happen like yesterday.
No, this happened on the 30th.
4 days ago.
Yep.
4 days ago?
And
yeah,
then
I guess so.
yesterday, U.S. to deploy anti-drug Navy ships near Venezuela.
Oh,
War. It's not just
boy.
that, man.
Yeah. This is the move of war right
You want to
here.
see the
They're
scariest
prepping
thing?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this freaked me out when you showed me
Check this out.
oh.
See all
snap.
these alerts?
What is happening?
This is, for the most part, the State Department issuing travel alerts for evacuations from countries all over the world. Now, of course, this could just be, COVID related, for sure. I want to make sure it's very clear as we move through all of these crazy stories and the crazy stuff I show you. I'm not here to draw any conclusions. It's really easy to pull up 50 stories and then be like, it all goes together. That's the problem with conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is stop focusing on one thing. I know a lot of people, they're journalists for, say, the Southeast Asia region.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, man, all this stuff's happening. And you ask them about Central America, and they're like, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, what about Iran? Oh, I don't know. There's people who cover MENA, the Middle East and North Africa. They don't know anything about what's going on in China, a little bit.
Okay.
When you step back and look at all these things, you start to see, well, the world's in conflict for sure.
Yeah.
Does it really mean World War III? I don't know. But I will like to entertain some of the conspiracy theories that have been popping up as of late. So as you know, what was it, like January? We went after Soleimani in Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Was it January?
Yep.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even remember.
6.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it before January?
No, it was early January.
Man, I don't even remember.
I think it was January 2nd.
But then Iran, a civilian plane got blown up. All this crazy stuff's happening,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people were like,
That's
World War III. Now we have this. I'm going to walk through a bunch of stuff. We got South China Sea. We got travel advisories. We've got Iran. We've got Venezuela. Check out this story from the Washington Free Beacon. A Venezuelan Navy vessel opened fire on a German cruise ship but sank after it sustained severe damages while ramming the luxury liner on Monday morning. The RCGS Resolute, a 123-meter-long cruise ship equipped with four polar expeditions, was performing routine maintenance in international waters off the coast of Venezuela on Monday, according to a statement by Colombia Cruise Services, which manages the ship. Soon, a Venezuelan patrol boat approached, demanded the ship divert its course to a Venezuelan port. The patrol boat then opened fire on the Resolute and repeatedly rammed it. The Resolute has a reinforced hull built to survive in Arctic conditions and sustained only minor damages in the encounter. The same could not be said for its aggressor. That's very sad. Venezuela tried.
I'm like giggling over here because it's funny.
It is funny.
That's how pathetic.
That's what you get. Like
pathetic,
you're
dude.
ramming a boat. They're just a cruise ship. Like,
Isn't
come
that
on.
crazy that a cruise ship is better armored than the Venezuelan Navy?
Yes.
That's kind of
But
telling.
you got to
It's pretty
understand,
crazy.
it's funny, right? It's actually scary. You know why?
No, I agree. It is scary.
No. You know, it's scary that it sank and their army is weak. Venezuela is desperate. Right now, you've got, apparently Trump contacted Saudi Arabia and Russia and said, shut down oil production because the oil prices are getting too low. Something I could be wrong. Fact check me on that one. But what I can tell you is there's an oil price war happening. And the prices are dropping dramatically. Like we just saw gas the other day for like $1.93. Remember that?
Yeah, but isn't there like the demand is gone? Like
Right.
So yeah, I guess wouldn't that make sense that it's dropping because they're just trying to sell it?
And so
'Cause no one's
Venezuela's
buying.
principal production is oil, and they struggle. So now they got nothing. Their money's worthless, and the only thing they really have, nobody wants.
Yep.
So what do? Piracy. Go rogue.
What were they going to get for their country from a cruise ship?
A couple months worth of food for the administration, for Maduro, for higher ups.
Maybe
If
captives.
If it's that
Yeah,
bad,
captives.
Man.
Yeah, dude. It's been getting bad.
Yeah.
And remember what I said? We were talking about this like a couple weeks ago. All it takes is for one of these countries to start getting desperate as resources start drying up. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to say, it's me or them. I choose me. Now, what I said before was like, I don't know where it would start. Maybe Vietnam, right? Maybe South China Sea. China will be like, our economy's taking a hit. Maybe it'll be Vietnam. Well, I don't know if what's this?
Does Venezuela...
China ship hits and sinks Vietnamese fishing boat in South China Sea and detains the crew.
Man, that's
What?
crazy.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
This happens a
Here's
lot.
the thing.
Does this happen often?
It happens. It does.
Yeah.
China's been trying to seize the South China Sea for a while.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah.
But this is April 3rd.
We talked about them lasing a
American,
flight,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like 2 months ago, and we were kind of like, yeah, it's crazy. It probably wasn't anything. Now we've got these new glasses that we're wearing. It's like
Take a look at this.
I don't think it was just them testing something. I feel like they were threatening. It's crazy. What is this?
Marines-
Marines
Yeah.
will help make it clear that China can't expel America from the South China Sea.
Oh, boy.
Well, I know some Marines. My brother's one of
too.
them,
So is
and
mine.
they're serious, man.
Yep.
Those guys, I wouldn't mess with the Marines.
China lased a U.S. surveillance plane of some sort. They just sank a Vietnamese fishing boat. This conflict's been going on for a while. You add all this stuff together, Venezuela might be the spark and the powder keg.
Who do they have any allies? Who's Venezuela's allies?
I don't know.
Do they even have any? I mean,
But
is
but,
it kind
but
of like
probably
floating on
probably
out
going
there
to
by
be
themselves?
Iran
I bet it's Russia.
and Russia. Yeah.
But Russia just sent us stuff. You think they booby trapped it all?
Maybe Trump has been
Maybe.
trying to repair relations with Russia for
Hasn't
a reason.
he though? Yeah,
Right.
he has.
And now they've sent us a bunch of medical
aid.
supplies.
And it's
Yeah.
like people were trying to twist it in some way, but it's like how they gave us help.
Well, that's-
thank you.
that's-
Like, can you say that? It's like that attitude that those people have. What do you think Russia when they see that? What do you think they think? They're like, oh wow, they're knocking Trump, who said it's a good thing. We were trying to help, and they're like,
They're making fun of him.
they're making fun of us.
Propaganda.
They're saying that we're against them. It's kind of like, I don't know any Russians. I don't know what the atmosphere is between us right now. But it's like all I know is that they're sending us help, and that's nice.
See, that's important context because I'm not trying to sit here and legitimately say we can confirm something like World War III or like major international conflict. I'm just saying, like I said, it's easy to pull up these stories, and if you forget to mention Russia sending us aid,
Right.
if you forget to mention that Trump has recently said, we're going to work with China to some certain degree,
Right.
then it sounds like things are getting worse. but I still think it's important to highlight stuff like this. If Venezuela, so apparently they were trying to ram this cruise ship to force it into Venezuelan waters. Now, Venezuela is claiming that the ship had mercenaries on it.
How do they know that?
Yeah, they're not. They're making it up. They're
Right.
nuts. These are crazy people. Oil is worthless. They've resorted to piracy, and so they saw a cruise ship. Hey, man, a cruise ship is like a floating town.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah, you're
floating
right.
hotel. Tons of oil, tons of resources, worth a lot of money. What do they get from it? I don't know. What's a cruise ship cost? Hundreds of millions of dollars to build?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can hold it hostage, seize it, and then demand a ransom or something.
Yeah.
They're getting desperate.
Seems like it, yeah.
Now check this out. This is presumably unrelated. U.S. to deploy anti-drug Navy ships near Venezuela. The Associated Press reports Donald Trump announced Wednesday that Navy ships are being moved toward Venezuela as his administration beefs up counter-narcotics operations in the Caribbean following U.S. drug indictments against Nicolas Maduro. The announcement came at the start of the daily White House press briefing to discuss the coronavirus pandemic, which has left much of the country in lockdown. And we get all that stuff. We get all the coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
Is this a cover? Or is it legit? Is Trump sending just a few little, blockade ships to prevent the smuggling of drugs?
Well, I mean, he put a $15 million bounty on his head.
Is that just an excuse because we're going to war?
I don't know.
Who do you
It's
trust?
like, I don't exactly. Where do you trust the information from so far away? It's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not there.
But
Right.
it is fair to say, them going after Maduro for drugs when Venezuela no longer has access to valuable oil. Well,
Yeah.
I should say their valuable
Right.
oil isn't valuable anymore.
What else do they
Sell drugs.
What else can they create
Yup.
that has been smuggled up
so this-
for a long time?
It could be an inversion. Trump could be deploying this for legitimate drugs, because of the drug stuff.
Yeah.
And Maduro might be lashing out because they're about to lose their only other lucrative trade.
Yep, that's a good point.
So maybe it doesn't escalate beyond that. But there's a few other things. So let's move forward. Check this out. The State Department said, the Department of State urges Americans not to delay travel home. Transportation options may soon be unavailable. U.S. citizens should make plans to return home now. So we have this right here. Russia shut down and unexpectedly canceled Aeroflot Flight 102. The government of the Russian Federation ordered the immediate suspension of all international flights without warning until further notice.
Man, that's this is you showed me earlier. Like this is depressing, man. Like what's gonna happen? We're bringing all Americans back.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs to come back.
They're doing
now.
They're doing evacuations.
Yeah.
Like,
what does that mean? It's like, whoa. It's like our
They-
citizens
so-
need to be here because you're probably going to be not safe anywhere else.
Burma. The embassy has coordinated a repatriation flight scheduled to depart Yangon April 6th. It is scheduled to arrive at San Francisco 8:15 p.m. on April 6th. Please read alert for instructions. Look at this. There's tons of alerts. And they all say similar things. The U.S. government is working to organize flights for U.S. citizens in Cabo Verde. These flights are projected to take place the week of April 5th. They're evacuating.
Yeah.
The embassies are evacuating. Now, they are finding commercial flights as well.
The whole embassy's being emptied out.
Is that what's happening?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, I don't
you.
know.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't know.
okay. You said they're evacuating the embassies, and it's like,
I
well,
would,
what does that entail?
I would say probably because you guys got to fact check me on this one because I didn't pull it up, but I'm pretty sure that the State Department allowed U.S. embassy workers and diplomatic personnel to evacuate China back in like January.
Oh, okay.
One of the first things they did. So I think it was someone from Fox, I don't remember who, said if they're telling U.S. government personnel to evacuate,
Yeah.
then American citizens, you need to get out now.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, of course, this is obviously coronavirus pandemic related.
Is it?
Is it though?
I thought they already went through this with the coronavirus.
Right, they
Like
did.
telling everybody to come home.
Yep.
Right.
They did.
So this is not the
What,
coronavirus.
what I'm saying is it's the simple solution. There's no other reason, like on the surface, it makes the most sense that they're instructing people to come back because flights are being canceled now.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean it's a guarantee that's exactly why they're doing
There
it.
is a lot of countries shutting their borders down.
Right?
And shutting
But that
airports
happened a while
down.
ago, a month ago or whatever.
It's progressively happening more and more.
I had a friend who was in a foreign country, got instructed to fly back immediately weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they're doing this now. You're right. Maybe it's because something else is on the horizon. I don't know. I mean, Venezuela going crazy is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But look, we can speculate and we can say, I think, my opinion is, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
And the simple solution is just pandemic related. But check this out.
I hope so.
You ready for the full-blown conspiracy theory?
Oh,
Yeah,
please
let's do it.
lay it on me.
We've been facing war with China and Iran and some other countries for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
it's been bubbling up, and we've talked about this. Let's say the government knew war was inevitable. How would they? Okay, I've actually said this in the past year. If China, they could snap their fingers and cut us off, which means we can't go to war with them.
Yeah.
They would freeze all of our manufacturing, and we would be left helpless, no medicine. So how does the government, the United States government, get all the manufacturing back, secure its borders, and bring all its citizens back in 1 month?
While also starting up all these factories creating medicines that are keeping like I don't
And
know,
medical supplies.
millions and millions of Americans alive.
Yeah.
No.
And the supplies.
Listen.
Oh man, like,
Making medical supplies,
it's crazy.
medicines, antibiotics,
All the
biotics.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
If you were going to go to war, what would you need to do?
You would need to have that stuff.
Bring your citizens back,
All those
kickstart
good
your
things.
manufacturing,
Yep.
Yep.
secure
the
your
borders.
borders.
Yep.
And what did we just do?
All those things.
In reverse order, we're doing it.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
He closed the borders. Now he has the ability to go. You're making medicine.
You're
You're
doing
making
this.
you're making medical supplies. You're doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guns are essential businesses. That was a Trump order.
Interesting.
Good. let's work on our essays.
Now, listen.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
You think I'm joking? No, I'm dead serious.
But to clarify, for those that don't know,
Oh, yeah.
New Jersey requires you to write an essay if you want to buy a weapon.
yeah.
So stupid.
Well, it's gonna be pretty easy right now to
you don't
explain
need to. Listen,
why.
You don't need to, because when the war starts, they're gonna conscript you and be like, "Here's your gun, buddy.
Yeah,
Sweet.
There you go. Guard your home
That'll work.
for America."
I would.
So there's a few things
I'd
that
step up.
people have called out Trump, like the drug operations in Venezuela. They say it's a distraction from the pandemic. They say, like, why is Trump securing our borders and bringing people back? It's just more of his xenophobic nationalism. The argument from a lot of people has always been that the things Trump is doing doesn't specifically relate to the coronavirus. And so in that sense, the people who have criticized Trump's actions as though they don't matter,
Yeah.
they would be making the argument that it is not a simple solution, that these things are related to the coronavirus.
And you kind of made a point earlier about these media people that are good with specific areas. I know this section of the world. I know this section of the world. Well, there's people that don't even worry about sections of the world. They worry about a person,
Right.
And they're not even looking over here at this part of the world. So they don't see the full picture. Clearly they don't, because they're so like polarized on what he's doing. And it's like, it doesn't matter. That's why it doesn't matter what he says, because they don't even see what the big picture is. They're just like, oh, he said something. We can get a bunch of clicks.
Let's light this one up.
Yeah.
The next story. Trump claims Iran or its proxies are planning a sneak attack, warns of a heavy price. Now, I look at this story, I say, what else is new?
Or its
Right.
proxies.
What else is new? This stuff happens all the time, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But here's my favorite. World War III fears. Domino effect error could spark major U.S.-Iran conflict in Middle East. Now, well, I shouldn't say it's my favorite. There's another story I want to point out that I think is better. But it's just, we're looking, if you look at one moment, people might say, we see these things all the time.
Right.
You look at Venezuela, we see these things all the time. What happens when you zoom out? Do they happen all at the same time when the U.S. is evacuating its citizens around the world, securing its borders, and bringing manufacturing back?
While a worldwide pandemic is happening.
Yep.
It's like,
and even
put it
Canada
all together.
and
Yeah.
Europe, and people are fighting over resources.
Yep.
So at the very least, here's what I could say. Maybe there's, I was speculating and getting a bit conspiratorial, as if this is all part of a plot to, build up America's defenses before a war starts. The reality is the pandemic is happening. Everyone's being affected by it.
Right.
And it will likely be a contributing factor to a major escalation.
Definitely.
Look, Trudeau of Canada was complaining that Trump just seized all these masks, saying you can't ship them out. They're America's now. So 3M was going to send masks to Canada. Trump was like, nope. Defense Production Act, boom, they're ours. And Trudeau was like, whoa, we need these things. And the
Make
U.S.
'em.
Yep.
That's what we're learning.
But what happens next? Canada doesn't have the resources. They start freaking out.
Yep.
Other countries don't have resources. They freak out. And when someone's backed in a corner and look, man, if someone's starving, I'll tell you what, they're not going to sit there on their knees begging you for bread. They're going to take it.
I mean, they are our allies. So it's
America Junior.
America's hat.
Yeah.
Canada? Yeah.
whatever. Okay. Well, still, it's like, we were so angry at China for turning those boats around with the masks that were coming to us. So how can we be upset with China for doing that if we're doing the same thing to Canada? I'm dead serious.
We're not
Yeah.
upset.
Sure, people are upset.
No, no, no.
Trudeau's upset.
Oh, no. Trudeau's upset.
Right.
But this just says to me that, oh, we got angry. We're like, oh, no, they took our masks. So
Right.
Trump orders everyone to come back.
Right.
And now we're closer than ever to war.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's my favorite. April 3rd, 2020, South China Sea. Beijing poised to give Europe a sobering lesson amid hostile standoff.
Who said that?
So this is Chinese. Let's just read it. Chinese military actions in the South China Sea are partly aimed at securing economic dominance, as the region is a key area for shipping of goods for countries around the world. But President Xi Jinping has also overseen investments in Europe, which have mostly flown under the radar. In 2019, the Financial Times reported how China's invested in Trieste on the northern Adriatic Sea and Genoa, Italy's biggest seaport, adding to a growing network of seaports.
Great.
Well, here
So
you go.
what, they're going to shut them down?
The Financial Times article states how this growing presence in Europe should provide a sobering lesson for Europe. This is because while China's trade can bring opportunities, its actions in the South China Sea prove it isn't always the friendliest partner. So right now, it's not just about the trade routes and the conflict, the lasering of our planes. Why is the FBI going around arresting collaborators of China?
Why aren't they?
They are.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's recent,
Numerous
right?
professors there's an investigation going on from the FBI targeting these professors, and not just them, other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they found that numerous professors were taking cash from China and did not disclose it. In fact, one of them, I think, lied to the feds and said I wasn't getting paid.
Oh, man.
They were setting up their own labs in China, working at our universities.
Whoa.
The feds are arresting them.
Good.
As part of that same investigation, those documents got leaked, I guess, and Yahoo published this, that the U.S. has intercepted on more than one occasion Chinese researchers illicitly transporting viruses.
That's who they were bringing them to.
Yes.
They're American paid
Potentially.
professors.
They said it
Yeah.
was part of the same investigation.
Dang.
This is all legit. It's all happening.
Wow.
So perhaps this espionage has been going on for a long time. Maybe it's just coming out now. But I'll tell you what, it feels like the volcano is bubbling up and it's getting really close to breaking the surface. And,
Yeah, it's smoking.
and eventually, someone's going to get desperate. Maybe Venezuela already did. Maybe
They
Trump
clearly
sent-
are. Yeah, they're desperate. They're ramming ships and losing their own ships, but it's like they're clearly desperate. They're lashing out.
Maybe that's the spark. Trump sends these ships down.
Mm-hmm.
Then some other countries are like, yo, what are you doing? Going after Maduro. Some other countries are like, we can't let you do this. Trump
Yeah, but
says, F you.
Has anyone said that? Is anyone coming to Venezuela's aid? I don't see it. I feel
I
like
don't know.
we would have heard something. You know?
So Venezuela's three biggest allies are China, Iran, and Russia.
You looked
Wow,
it up.
what a surprise!
I did look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
see some comments saying that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was true or not.
You ready to
but-
ride that nuclear
Yeah,
gravity bomb
man.
down like a cowboy on a bull?
Oh man.
Yeehaw, baby. World War III.
I don't know, man. It's
I
crazy.
mean, my more conspiratorial-minded friends are freaking out.
I don't blame them.
Saying, get out, time to go to the country. I got a bunch of emails being like, you don't understand, it's time to get out of the city. Because we're in the nuclear era, man. You know what? You might have restraint from many of these countries for now. And then eventually when they realize they're losing, mutually assured destruction means nothing.
Well, I think San Diego is probably the biggest area that would be hit first, right? It's our biggest port.
San Pedro, right?
Oh, I,
So
thought,
that's-
I thought San Diego was
I
our
don't-
biggest port on the West Coast.
I don't know if it's San Diego, but I know the San Pedro port, which is basically LA.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like south of Los Angeles, San Pedro. I think it's San Pedro. I used to drive past it all the time.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, we're on the East Coast, so like, what would,
New York?
like NORAD's over here,
yeah.
isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Dude, listen. One multiple independently targeted reentry vehicle with 10 warheads on it could wipe out the eastern seaboard.
yeah, you're right.
Like the major cities, just. So I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't want to get that crazy.
I feel like I have more. I just believe in the American military because they've been getting so much money over the past years.
Yeah, but
It's like-
bureaucracy,
True.
government sluggishness.
Yeah, but don't you think that they have? I mean, we talked about it. They got to have stuff we don't know about.
Totally. Absolutely. Like the Manhattan Project, we
there's-
didn't know until they dropped those bombs.
Yeah, and then it was like, whoa, that's a huge bomb. Like, what just happened? It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we've been working on that with scientists. It's
This
like,
is what scares me about World War III.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have said, MAD, mutually assured destruction, guarantees we wouldn't see that kind of conflict, right?
yeah,
If let's say we go to war and it's Russia and China,
okay,
and then we storm the beaches of Hong Kong, greeted as liberators. And we charge in, and we're sweeping through the land, and Xi Jinping is getting cornered in his room. It's not going to be like Hitler in Nazi Germany where he, put a bullet in his head or whatever.
Oh, he's not
No,
gonna
he's
take
gonna
the
hit the
pill.
button.
He's going to be like,
Yep.
you're going down with me. Wham.
Yep.
Nuke.
Yep.
Yep. Nukes, plural.
And then you're going to be
Yeah.
sitting in Philly, and you're going to be like, looking up, what is that? And then you're going to see a shock and a flash, and then you're blind.
Yep.
And then a few seconds later, you're going to go, and then
And you're gonna be a shadow on the wall.
you're going to be a shadow on a wall, man. That's, maybe they'll get that crazy. Maybe they'll be that angry. I refuse to go down. I'll take you with me. I don't know.
They are an honor culture.
Well, that does seem fairly extreme.
We can rewind everything all the way back to where we are right now and get away from all that speculation and to just say one thing. This is the craziest it's ever been in my life.
I agree. This is insane.
And so if there
This
was
is
ever
crazy.
a time to speculate as to the end being nigh,
Yeah.
would certainly be now. You know what really scared me?
What?
I was thinking about something earlier. I didn't realize how much Donald Trump's words actually affected me.
Really?
Over the past couple of weeks, I was feeling like, this is boring, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Everything felt fine.
Because Trump was telling
Trump
everyone
kept saying,
exactly
we're going to
that.
reopen things,
Yep.
it's not a big deal. When Trump came out and said, this is going to be the roughest couple of weeks our nation has ever faced.
I mean, he said today though that it's bad, but we're gonna get through this. It was kind of like it felt like a couple weeks ago, not like the past few days where he's like, this is gonna get bad.
But
It's
that-
gonna get
but-
really bad.
I didn't realize that, I guess like subconsciously, when you look to the president
Yeah.
and he acts like he doesn't care, it really does affect you.
It does.
true.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, if he doesn't care, why should I?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's normal for how people react in positions where you're looking to the leader who's in charge of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what they say in like when they're teaching people to be leaders, display calm and optimism, and the people will feel good and their morale will be better. When Trump came out and said it's getting bad, all of a sudden, I'm looking at the news and I'm like, oh man,
It was
all
like the
dads,
chink in the armor.
Yeah.
You
If-
saw through the facade a little bit.
like
Not that it was a facade, but just like you could see that he was starting to feel the pressure himself.
yeah.
And it showed. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So there was a guy paddleboarding by himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got arrested. They told us you can go outside and go for walks and go exercise. And they said it was no big deal. Governor Murphy in New Jersey was like, go outside, go for a walk, do your thing, just don't gather in groups. A woman was in Florida walking around walking around downtown. Cops
Okay.
arrested her.
By herself?
Now she's got an ankle monitor.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand that though.
They're worried she could be infected.
She had-
she had thought she had she said she had symptoms.
Okay.
And she was walking around by herself, Facebook living. People called the cops. The cops came, arrested her.
By
ankle
herself.
bracelet.
What is the deal there? That doesn't
Right.
make any sense.
She had taken a test and
She
it had
clearly was doing social distancing to the
Right.
max.
Yeah,
she was
for
by
sure.
herself.
Here's where it
in
gets
the middle
weird.
of nowhere. I mean, the city, but who's in the city walking around?
This
Was
here-
there
here-
other people? Do you know?
No, there was no. Well, she did go. She went to a retail store or something and like walked around.
A retail store was open.
I guess, or maybe she was like looking in the window. I don't know.
Okay.
The paddleboarding guy.
That's crazy to me.
Two lifeguard boats or whatever cruise up and our Coast Guard I think, and then he goes to the shore and they arrest him. They walk him out.
That's nuts.
He was in the ocean by himself.
exercising.
Some woman gave a quote where she said she was worried the virus was getting in the water and then being kicked up into the air. And I'm like, that's insane, dude.
How is that?
Where are these large quantity of viruses all across the ocean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Like if
Could it even survive in that kind of an environment? Do you know this?
Yeah, so marine animals eat a lot of them.
A lot of
viruses?
viruses.
Yeah, they eat a lot of viruses.
But think
Okay.
about that.
And they
No,
survive
hold
yeah,
on.
and they save us from a lot of them actually.
Think about that vast open space in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, I could imagine there may be some virus somewhere, but the idea that it's all up in the air and he's swimming through it, so they have to arrest him.
Just because the waves are like hitting the rocks and splashing
There were no
into
rocks.
the air.
It was the beach.
I know, but there's rocks along the whole coastline, though. I'm
This-
sure
where he
there's still a
was-
mist in the air in the morning.
Right.
When you. along
I'm
the whole
wondering, is there
California-
another reason why the Coast Guard was clearing out the water for one person?
That's a really good question.
What do you think that they're watching out into the ocean for?
I don't know.
Not the
Submarines?
virus.
I've never.
Yeah, something other than a
yeah,
virus.
that was my first
Do you know?
thought.
Do you know about that guy who got fired from the captain of that aircraft carrier who got fired?
I don't know much about it.
Theodore. What was his name?
Crozier?
Crozier.
He was worried that the virus was in the ship and was
Yeah.
asking help.
And
or
he asked for
something?
help.
Okay.
He got relieved because they said that the letter getting leaked will make our enemies think that our military is weak or weakened.
Okay.
And so they replaced him. Loose lips sink ships.
That's fair, though.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's also
it is
scary
fair.
right now when Venezuela is ramming cruise liners and opening fire.
But did he
Our
leak
Navy's.
it? Did he like?
I don't know.
You know,
That's
it's
not the
like-
point. The
the
point
fact
is
that he put it in writing at
it
all.
doesn't matter.
Is that why?
I don't know. The point is the military just fired a captain of a ship scared that the enemies think we're weak right now.
Yeah.
Why? It's the most pressing thing for the American military right now, that one ship, the military looks weak.
Yep.
Is there a concern that we will be attacked for some reason?
If maybe they're thinking if we do look weak, that's more.
they'll
It's
attack.
raising the chance that we're going to get attacked.
Maybe.
Right? But does any American think in their, like, is any one of you at home right now thinking like, well, it's just a matter of time until America gets attacked? It's not even a part of our daily. No one thinks at any point anyone is going to go after an aircraft carrier. But the U.S. military just relieved a guy saying loose lips sink ships, worried that he made our military look weak. Why? Is there a concern we might be attacked by an opportunistic foreign adversary who's looking for a chance to strike?
It certainly feels like it.
Oh, yeah, man.
It does.
And that brings me to the next portion of this segment, the conflict with our own allies
Yeah.
and what that leads us to. And I don't know about that, but I will say, if Canada is in dire straits, and look, Canada and Russia are right next to each other. People often don't look at the map and think about what the North Pole is. We live in a globe, man. It's a sphere, right? We got the picture right here, the little globe on the planet. Canada's right there. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to Russia.
Yep.
What happens if Canada's, running out of resources? We have no choice but to help them.
Okay.
We're going to start seeing factions forming, strong. I mean, obviously, there's already the BRICS nations. There's NATO. Canada's like, they're angry at us, but eventually they're going to need supplies. Venezuela clearly does. They're going to ask for help. This is how the factions start forming, and then.
Yep.
So let's jump to the next.
Let's do some super chats.
Let's grab some super chats from
Yeah,
y'all.
let's do that. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about World War III. We'll get some comments from you guys and see. We got a ton of super chats, so we might have to go quick. Not a Band account asks, when we defeat Venezuela, can we keep the oil? Well, as per traditional U.S. policy,
Yes.
we're going to anyway.
That's right.
Daniel says, hey there, fellow Beanie Squad. Hope everyone is okay and washing their hands.
Yes.
Just want to give a shout out to my fellow wastewater treatment plant workers and operators that still have to work.
Thank you for that, because
We need them.
people do not think about that every day, and that's, I mean,
It's another reason
that's
I
an amazing
think
thing that it's like that's the top invention, right, isn't it? The number one
Sanitation.
invention was toilets, and like the whole
cities couldn't
system,
exist
sewage
without it.
systems.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like thank you.
people would throw poop, like I
Thank
don't
you.
know if this is true, but I heard like they would just splash poop buckets out the window.
Yeah, it's like I love being able to go into the toilet room and
your
use
business.
the toilet.
Play video games on your phone. Get your
Yeah.
phone all gross and dirty.
Totally.
Don't wash it. Then
that's-
shake someone's hand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
especially yours.
Yeah. All right. Cal Buchanan says, I talked to my sister about the TP shortage, and her response was everyone is stuck in their homes, so they have to eat their own cooking. Kyle says, Tim, if we did go to war, we are safe. There is more explosive ordnance in Oklahoma than most of the world's militaries have. Important point as well. I sure am glad we have Second Amendment right now.
Oh, man.
True that.
All of the urban liberals who started running to these gun shops for the first time, never realizing why they might need a weapon. I'm not saying I know for a fact a war is coming. I'm just more worried about it than I've ever been. Not because I think it's very, very likely, but I think we're closer than we've ever been.
Well, everybody has a little bit of a feeling of it.
Maybe.
They get the essence of it. I mean, everyone's afraid right now
Yeah.
already because of World War C. I just came
Right.
up with that. World War C.
See,
Yeah,
But
like that.
But check it out.
it's like, yeah, go ahead.
we're not going to get invaded.
I don't think so.
Everybody and their grandma in this country's got a weapon, except for like city folk.
It's true.
But you try and make your way through the middle of the country, and there's going to be like a little old lady, and she's going to be like, "Oh, where's that? Where are you from? Out of my way!" That's America.
That's a great old lady.
Yeah, it reminds me of Hot Fuzz. You see that movie?
Great movie.
Where like all like the old lady and like everybody's pulling out guns and stuff.
You're all
That's
loaded.
America, man. All right, Jim, thanks for the super chat. Evan S. says, hey, Tim, Sunday, April 6th is first contact day. In 43 more years, the Vulcans will show up in Bozeman, Montana. Hop in your van to wait for the aliens with Matt Christensen. I wish. Grafon Troy said, Virgin Venezuelan ship versus Chad cruise liner. Can you imagine that? A cruise liner just like doting about its business and the Venezuelan Navy bounces off of it and sinks?
I love this mental
I'm
image.
trying not to laugh, but it's funny.
Venezuela's pathetic.
They're like, oh, let's try to take it down.
Take
They're
it
like,
down.
ah, doink.
No.
Reminds me of a Star Trek episode where I remember it's probably a bunch of them. The Enterprise like encounters this ship that's firing on it, and they're like some rumbling, and the captain asks like, "What's happening?" He's like, "He's firing lasers," and they're like, "Lasers? This can't damage us." That was funny. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're throwing sticks at us.
Yeah.
Why are they throwing
Yeah.
sticks?
Cad says, "The Virgin Venezuela versus the Chad America. I'm taking bets." S-Head says, "I feel like the Boogaloo will happen before World War III starts." So, with the Boogaloo is what, like America Civil War II? Civil War II American Boogaloo or whatever? Is that what's supposed to be?
I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. This is unifying everybody.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know about
I
that,
don't
man.
know.
The paddleboard dude getting arrested?
That's
the-
it feels like there's an ulterior or another reason for that. It's like, why are they protecting the West Coast? We just said it like 10 minutes before. What's the number one target? The biggest port.
Ports. Yeah.
Yep.
Where was he?
And maybe-
in the South Carolina seas. It's like, or
And maybe-
California seas.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
He was in Malibu.
yeah.
Maybe the reason they're going after the individual boarding is because the opportunity of one saboteur to be carrying something or to go somewhere, who knows?
They're probably afraid. What's this
Yeah.
one person coming in? We don't know who that is. Get out of the water.
You know what?
I don't know, man.
Some people have There was a tweet where someone said, "If you want to, are you trying to start the Boogaloo because this is how you get a Boogaloo, like the meme?"
Yeah.
Because you start arresting random people who are minding their own business. People freak out
Doesn't sit well.
unless or until someone attacks an American military ship.
Yep,
So I'll make a
that's
soft prediction. Keep an eye out for like if one of these ships Trump sends, all of a sudden gets attacked and blown up, and Americans are sinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of stuff that happens. Don't forget the Gulf of Tonkin incident, where it's an American ship says it got attacked. Oh no, we had to get involved in Vietnam. That's how it goes down. I don't know though. We'll see what happens.
Crazy
Ghost of
times.
Bill Cooper says, "Tim, you should look into the expanding Earth. It's an alternative theory to the standard plate tectonics model, but uses a lot of the same data PT uses." Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Anders Thon says, FFFFF. Ceylon Blue says, 2 topics for you. Check out DARPA Xenobot program.
Ooh.
Also, inventor Salvatore Paez on Google, patents for Navy anti-gravity ship. Have a good weekend, team.
Very cool.
Nobody else, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
I will say, the reason why I'm excited for World War III is because then the U.S. military will finally unveil all their top secret weapons.
So we know what's going on.
And one day we'll see a bunch of hovercrafts floating around and like dudes in armored jump jet suits, and they can fly, and they've got like lasers on
it's like,
their,
oh yeah, those were revealed
plasma.
in World War III.
Yeah, like, well, the nuke.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it existed. And then one day, World War II, they're like, by the way, we just wiped out 2 cities with a single strike.
Yeah.
People were like, what?
Well, it was 2 different strikes.
Right. Well, I mean, like, one, yeah, it was the 2 different planes,
One
and they went,
strike
doof,
apiece.
doof.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they both went, civilians, targeting civilians
Yeah, that's
with
messed
nukes.
up.
I heard that the reason they did it, I don't know if there's an apocryphal or conspiracy theory, but I read that Japan was ready to surrender, but the U.S. military wanted a guaranteed deterrent to remind everybody of our power. And so they were like, let's not entertain any potential surrenders and just do it.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, and there have been some people, like I think it was Iran who said the U.S. should really give away all of its nuclear weapons because they're the only country who's ever used them against civilians, no less. I'm hoping that whatever we've developed since, the Cold War, the weapons, the arms race, is more focused.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize the power of nuclear weapons. Did you know that a modern nuclear device, ICBM,
It's like 100 times.
1,250 times more powerful?
Oh my gosh.
There's something called a MIRV, a multiple independently targeting reentry vehicle. It can carry, I think it's like 8 to 12 warheads. A single ICBM launches into the stratosphere, and they all come down, and they can go doof, 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 along the eastern seaboard or whatever country. And you thought 1, megaton bomb. There's also the Russian Tsar Bomba. I think it was a gravity bomb, which means they just drop it.
Okay.
But they had it at like a quarter capacity, and the shockwave was so powerful that when they turned around, the plane fell from the sky 2 kilometers before being able to catch itself because it was in the shockwave.
Whoa.
Yeah, the weapons we've made since then are scary. Like, this planet's going to get torn to shreds. Maybe that's how the simulation ends. Maybe that's the grand culmination.
Yep.
Blow it all up.
Just white static.
White static, yeah. Abated Fawn says, Yo soy Jesus, why are you so handsome?
Oh,
Ooh.
I don't know. My mom made me this way.
Aw.
Not about war, but. Judy says, ship is build an Arctic cruiser, especially thick. Yeah, it was a polar
Yeah,
exploration
to go
cruise
through
ship.
the ice
Yup.
up there.
That's
Have
funny.
you seen videos of that? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
They crash through it. It's nuts.
Corto says, get ready for more of U.S. authoritarians, for more of us authoritarians, Tim. People are calling for my ilk to take power. Let's just hope us nice ones are the ones left standing. Authoritarianism is bad, but here, you know what? When a world war breaks out, no one's going to ask any questions.
That's true.
They're going to be like, tell me where to stand and tell me what to shoot. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? Some people will ignore it and they'll go hide.
That's true.
Dark Renji says, I keep telling my friends who think shutting the counties is a good idea that the economy collapsing and leaving us in the dark ages with riots would be worse, but they don't agree. What do you think? I don't know. It's impossible to know what's worse.
Exactly. I don't know.
But I can say if the economy stops, the nurses quit.
Right.
That's a good point.
We have to figure something out to find some sort of middle ground, because we can't have that, you know.
It's not
Why?
gonna work.
If people feel like the system is broken, they're going to
Yeah.
be like, if these doctors or nurses feel like their life is threatened, they'll leave. You got to secure your own mask before securing the mask of the person sitting next to you.
Literally.
And it feels like they already feel that way.
Yeah, some of them do. I know they do. Some of them are quitting.
Right. So we're already at that point,
The economy's
and
got
they're getting paid still.
some
so-
of them are getting cuts.
Right. So
Yeah.
if they lose all income, it's like what are they still there for, you know? Just to risk their lives? I mean, yes, they're heroes, but that can only go so far before they're like, I have to go protect my family.
Yep.
Or myself.
Well, the government's going to conscript people.
Probably.
Yeah.
The new age draft.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh boy.
Mr. James says, know anyone that can dissect deepfakes? Ask because Biden's face in video you posted on Twitter looks a little too two-dimensional. Know what I mean? He just looks like he's deteriorating really bad.
I know, man. That's a whole nother conversation.
Albie Dam says, I was watching the quartering earlier today and I thought I'd ask directly, what's going on with you and your brother? Nothing I would care to comment on publicly, probably because no one really cares about it, but also legal matters are best kept private. Ian Emmon says, Beanie Man, my neighbors are having a party. Well, I guess you can do the thing.
But are you gonna snitch on them?
You better not. Don't do it.
Yeah, let's avoid the authoritarianism.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Let's see. Ted says, in Marcella, oops, did I just dead handle her?
Oh yeah. she
Is
did.
Marcella. Oh, yeah. Jesse Vorwald says, 1816, year without summer. VE17 Tambora Dalton Min. Mega Executioner says, plans on an intro theme for stream like Crowder? Yeah, maybe. We'll make one. We got the recording stuff getting set up.
Yep, she's actually upstairs working on an intro song for us.
Oh, cool. There you
Yeah.
go. Amethyst Wavering says, Cuomo is taking upstate ventilators while sitting on a stockpile. He's also shipping patients upstate. Despicable. You know what, man? When it gets bad, I don't know what you expect to happen. They're going to come and they're going to tell you what to do, and people are going to say, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Sean Hanner says, you guys should read books by Robert A. Heinlein. My favorite is Starship Troopers. He writes some really good sci-fi books.
If he wrote Starship Troopers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I've read it. I mean, I've watched it.
Yeah.
Water Dancer says, I work at Amazon and someone was just diagnosed with COVID-19 last night. They offer voluntary time off, and I'm staying home not to take any chances.
Stay safe.
John Smith says, thought my sister had COVID, but it's just bronchitis. Good news.
Well, stay even more
Yeah,
safe, because
seriously.
that would not go well with COVID. So
Jack Timmerman says, spoke with the CDC rep today. Said that he wasn't sure if people who died and tested positive for COVID-19 were included in the virus death count or not. All Metal Mike says, why didn't the aliens in all the sci-fi movies ever made just drop a contagious virus like COVID or worse, kill everyone and conquer the planet?
That'd be boring.
The funny thing about like Independence Day,
the story would just end.
Yeah.
Good job, aliens.
yeah, reality
The
isn't,
end.
isn't exciting.
Right.
If aliens came to Earth and it was a strategic military attack, they would just be like, okay, we've targeted all of their oil production sites. We've launched the missiles. They're all gone, and we'll wait one day. There we go. The entire economy of the world is crippled, and they have no more weapons.
Yeah. And they would probably target it all the like world leaders.
Yeah.
As well. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Justin O'Toole says, is it plausible that a black op was operating from this reinforced cruise ship doing maintenance in open waters instead of a port or a dry dock? That's what Venezuela's trying to claim, that mercenaries were on board and they were planning some kind of, you know what it could have been?
Even if it was true, how would they know?
The U.S. offered a $15 million bounty.
Yeah.
So you get some
That is
mercenaries.
Yep.
Yeah, but when did they issue that bounty though? I thought that was like 2 days ago. And
That was a
then-
while ago, wasn't it?
It's
Like a
been
week ago?
yeah,
Oh,
it's been a
it's been around for a
Yeah.
while. Oh, okay.
couple days.
So then, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if they're like, oh man, our back's against the wall.
Or they're just paranoid and they see a cruise ship and they're like, he's coming for Maduro, go get him. And the people on the cruise ship are like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you ramming us?
Why are you ramming us? Oh, they're sinking. All right, bye.
bye.
And then Venezuela
Keep it
got
real.
mad because they didn't rescue any of them.
Well, they were ramming them
And
Seriously?
shooting at them.
and shooting at them.
Later.
Let me rescue you now. You were trying
Yeah,
to kill
I
me
don't
just
think
10
so.
minutes
It
ago.
reminds me of every stupid movie where they're like trying to save the bad guy and the bad guy turns on them. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
don't save the bad guy. Come on. All right, let's see. Nobody else says, Tim, you were wrong about the post office yesterday. I was wrong. We are so short-staffed, some offices can't service all home every day, so you might have to deal with the mail delivery every other day. I was wrong. I thought the story said that some services were being suspended. That's what the story said.
Yeah.
I have friends in New York that they own a skate shop and the post office closed. They can't send anything out anymore.
Whoa.
So some post offices are closing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Look,
So
man.
I guess not all post offices.
I
That's
think
really-
the simple solution is if there was ever going to be a war, the only opportunity to strike is now.
It's true.
Our New York is crippled. You know, our economy is shut down. Our ships are full of sick people.
And they control our medicine.
Yeah. The
and,
soft
and
underbelly.
a lot more than that, actually. But that's pretty huge.
It's almost like America is this cat, and
Yep.
it opened up its paws and its claws, and now China can reach its hand in and go for the belly scratches, but it might, clamp back down. But it can't because it's sick. That's the best analogy for what's happening. The best.
Okay.
Okay. okay.
All right, let's read some more.
I'll just go with that.
Yes.
Astro says, keep in mind, ramming a cruise ship with a patrol boat would be like ramming a semi-truck with a bicycle.
Yes.
Yep.
That's why it's so funny.
But who would do that?
J Man says, do you think the Democratic Party will suddenly pull out Biden and put in Cuomo since his popularity has shot up? I am worried about the health of Biden because those videos he's been putting out, it really looks like he's on his last days. I'm not kidding.
I agree. No, I 100% agree with you.
He
does
sluggish.
not look healthy.
His
Yeah.
face is red. His eyes are drooped, and he's just going like, "Well, you gotta do." It's like he's asleep.
Yep.
I think I've seen that look. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I've seen people who are close in age,
Just losing it.
well, when they get close to that age, like his decline is happening faster and faster.
Yeah, he's under incredible stress.
It's not just that. It's like I have seen people who are older, and when they get close to the point where they finally pass, they seem to be kind of okay, and the decline just goes exponentially faster and faster and faster. And then I see that. I feel like I see that in Biden.
Yeah.
It's like that the way his debate a couple weeks ago, where he's on stage muttering and mumbling, versus him sitting in his room, face all red, struggling to speak, was very different.
Yep.
He's
true.
He's I don't know.
And it's like he's in his room. Is it live or is it recorded?
They're live.
Oh, they're live.
A lot of them are live.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And then he mutters and mumbles. He doesn't make sense. But the sluggishness.
Yeah.
His desperate struggle to read the cue cards. Yikes, man. Christopher says, you thinking that Corona is fake? Are you willing to bet your life on that? I think you just don't like being told what to do, so are making excuses. You put everyone else at risk. More cases, more mutation risk. I have no idea what you're talking about because I was one of, like, compared to the rest of the media, I was the one consistently telling people to take it seriously, and then I think
Right.
it's going to get really bad.
What?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
really? Did
You
know
not-
what, man?
Did
Yeah,
you not
man.
get the vibe that we were like trying to prepare everyone?
Yeah, well,
because
we're-
we were trying to be.
Maybe it
prepared.
was
Yeah.
all of the commercials for emergency food that I did that made him think that I was telling people it's not a big deal and to ignore it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a little confused. I don't know.
Maddie Bone says, I was a sailor in the carrier Independence. What that
Cool.
captain did was wrong, projecting weakness on a ship of war. That was more harmful to sailors.
Interesting.
Yeah. John Hill says, hey, Tim, when coronavirus is over, what do you think China's relationship with the rest of the world will be? If they win, they'll own it and control it. And if they lose, they'll be glass. We'll see what happens. I'm being very, very hyperbolic in that statement, mind you.
I like it.
Doug Morton says World War III, everyone against China because they lied about COVID-19. I'm not so sure. When you look at the John Hopkins map, Russia looks fine.
Still.
And technically China does too, but that's probably because they're lying. And Europe and the US look awful.
Yeah, we don't. Look
But other
good.
countries don't look nearly as bad.
It's true.
It's the EU, it's the US, so
I mean, people keep bringing up Sweden, and Sweden's doing fine.
Yeah.
They're not locking down. Schools are still open. It's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
It's like they have this really uncanny way of just staying true and maintaining through wars.
There's a delay, though.
I know that's true, and I hope it doesn't hit crazy, but I'm like, I know people there, and it seems like it's just okay.
The Dashing Rogue says, Russia is not our friends. Look up The Foundation of Geopolitics by Alexander Dugin, in which he encourages using Afro-American racist and separatist groups within the United States to sow discord. The Cool Core says, with sis studying abroad, father working out of country, it's just my mom out of work because hairstyler, and me, I'm still working from home, thankfully. We're not American, from East Europe. Kenrick Grunwald says, been a long-time listener and fan. Thank you for keeping us informed and on our toes during this time of crisis.
Thanks.
I will stress, too, it's entirely possible that, these are just cherry-picked stories. I got to be honest.
True.
It's not my intention to say, like, it's coming, run. I'm just watching all this stuff, and I'm curious.
And wouldn't it be wonderful if this all just went away?
I would like to be wrong.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would be like, oh, the virus is over? Oh, we can go to our favorite restaurant? We can go back to work?
Yes.
That'd be
We're not
great.
going to go to war?
We can go back to our luxury bubble.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
My
video games.
bubble is back.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't yet, and subscribe. And if you want to get in the super chats, do so. But I have to say,
Bam.
we have very many viewers, and which makes it increasingly more difficult to go through all the super chats. So I'm going to start speeding up. I'm sorry if I can't get to your super chat, but we have
Ooh.
14,000 people listening.
We just broke our record. Welcome,
Appreciate
everyone.
it. Yeah.
Word.
Connor Stevens says, hey, Tim, sorry for the boom joke yesterday. I know you were trying to keep the show as friendly as possible. My bad. I'll save those jokes for the spicier channels. I love you guys. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And Message Writer says, so oddly, we do have companies in the U.S. making antibiotics and other medicines for veterinary use. Those companies could be upgraded for human production.
Good.
Fascinating.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Supersonic, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Leor Engelstein says, your gun manufacturing viewer here. Followed you since your rooftop interview with Dave Rubin. I can ship you a P80, a legal handgun not requiring any government knowledge. You build it yourself. Is that true?
Is it
Oh,
true?
Well, I'll
look
take a
that
look.
up.
I'll look into it. It's the
Send
very
me
least
a
I can
PM.
do. No,
Interesting.
don't send,
I'm just kidding.
don't send anything.
No.
No, message. Not,
Yeah.
don't
Oh, yeah,
send
yeah.
me any. I didn't say.
Ryan Walker
okay.
says, for context of corona economic impact, here in UK, biggest quarterly GDP decline is minus 2.3 over 08 crash, minus 6.2. Q2 2020 forecast, minus 15%, taking economy to about 2011 in 3 months. Good luck to the U.S.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
Well, thanks for the good luck.
Chris says, did you see the story regarding Florida resident Hexen Zhang proudly filmed herself buying large amounts of PPE to be sent back to China on Twitter? These stupid Americans don't know what's coming.
I actually have people tweeting at me from Costa Rica, many different countries that are saying that exact same thing, that they were like, look, thank you for helping us prepare. And by the way, I definitely was at the store and I saw they were telling me that, sorry, we sold all of this stuff that you're looking for to this Chinese person and they bought everything. And then they went to 3 or 4 different places. I mean, I'm hearing this from multiple people from all over the world. It's like, wow.
In January,
It's crazy.
China instructed citizens working in other countries to start buying up as much medical equipment as possible and sending it back to China.
Yep.
That is an attack, man.
It's crazy, man.
They knew what was coming. They lied about it, and they took our stuff.
They knew about it.
Well, Australia and Canada. That's crazy. Corey
Agreed.
Broach says, hello from my command center in Ohio. How's it going?
I like that. The sound of that.
Buckeye says, Clinton, Bush, and Obama were playing checkers while China was playing chess. We finally got a POTUS who was better at playing chess, but we are still so far behind. Randy, thanks for becoming a member.
Thanks.
Trumple Stiltskin says, watch the Dennis Hopper, Dean Stockwell, Neil Young movie, Human Highwayman 1980s. Anthony says, I will survive, as long as I know how to love. I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give. And I'll survive, I will survive, hey, hey.
You could have sang it.
I
Come
could
on,
have.
man.
Mark G says, reading... Oh, we just jumped. I love it when that happens.
Oh, that's a jump.
Oh, and it's a big one, too.
Oh,
Too
no.
many people in the super chat. We
Too
love
much.
all of you.
Thank
But
you,
I
guys.
bet people are wondering what I'm drinking here. I just want to give a shout out to my buddy's kombucha company. It's called Babe Kombucha.
Ooh,
It's
hold on.
delicious.
Yeah, let's look.
Ooh. It's got a babe on it.
Oh, cool.
And it is really good.
Nice.
If you like kombucha, you should check it out.
Does he have a website?
What up, Travis?
There we go.
I don't know if he's got a website, but Babe Kombucha.
Yeah, Google
really
it.
And that
really
is
good.
not paid.
Super cool.
That's
It
not-
is
it's
You're
not
being
paid.
paid or anything?
Friend
not getting
shout
paid by
out.
it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I just got my order in the mail 2 days ago, and man, I really love it.
There
it's
you
really
go.
good. It doesn't have that same kombucha taste. It tastes like a I don't know. It doesn't have that like twang of the vinegar taste that you hate.
I was gonna make a really bad joke
I know
about kombucha.
you hate it. You hate it. I know.
I was
you
gonna
do.
say it doesn't have that sweaty armpit taste.
No, you should taste this because I feel like you would actually like it
I don't know,
because
man.
it doesn't have that same like
No, I'm not,
Vinegar?
not into vinegar.
like alcohol-y vinegar zing of some kombuchas have. I mean, I like kombucha, and there's a really wide spectrum of flavors with it, but this stuff is really good.
It's all vinegar to me.
Smooth. I'm gonna force you to try it.
no.
Well, I'll try it. I'm down.
Yes.
Okay.
Mark G says, reading through newspapers from the 6 months leading up to World War I, crazy similarities to now. British suffragettes sound like Antifa and headbutting between nations leading up to more erratic behavior. Yup. Keith Wagner says, Crowder came out with a video today on Fish Tank Lady. The info major media knew and decided not to share. In the biased narrative they took regarding info they didn't share. Have you seen it? And what are your thoughts? My general understanding is that Crowder said this woman was trying to divorce her husband, had been abusive towards him, and then she was a Democratic donor, not a Trump supporter, hated the guy,
Okay.
posted negative things about him on social media, and then all of a sudden they both trusted Trump and drank fish tank cleaner or whatever. And so I guess what he's getting at, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth and I don't want to get sued, so I'll just say it sounds like the story maybe that she poisoned him without him knowing,
Yeah.
ingested a little bit herself so she would survive and he wouldn't, and then she went, but we saw it on the TV, and the media ate the narrative up,
Yep.
and no one pursued her.
And now she got away with it.
Yeah. But, you know,
Maybe.
truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary, yo.
P. Barrett says, former U.S. Navy FC. I can tell you that the U.S. has multiple means of defense against ballistic nuclear missiles. Mind you, the higher-ups operate on better safe than sorry. We've been working on stuff like the Strategic Defense Initiative for a long time. We were talking about the other day. Sam DeLau says, a lot of Navy guys I spoke to are absolutely rolling on the floor laughing because of that Venezuelan story. Don't even care of larger consequences. The sheer audacity, stupidity could be both. They got, come on.
Let's ram this giant
Yikes.
metal ship
Let's see what happens.
with our rinky dink.
It's like a dude on like
What
a
do you
tricycle
think's
going
gonna
like,
happen?
towards like a semi, like the guy was saying in the chat. And then like, doof. And you're like, what are you doing?
What did you expect?
And then you get run over by the semi, and then you start yelling at the semi for not taking you to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Bringer says, no matter how bad things get, it's a leader's responsibility to maintain the illusion that things will work out. He's taking action. Adequately? Who knows? But it is literally his job to make you think things are okay. That, about Trump, I agree. Casey says, hey, Beanie Man, saw your message about the whole video being on iTunes. What happened to episodes 33, 34, 36, 37, and 38
Whoa.
on iTunes? Aren't they all there?
Everything should be up.
Don't
well,
know.
okay, so I think, let me look. I'll look
We'll figure it
right
out.
now. Yeah, I'll double check.
Yep.
James, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
A handy redneck says Canada PM sent tons of medical gear to China, leaving Canada without, and now Trudeau's mad that we're taking ours back. Go figure. Maybe Sapien says time to put aside bipartisan bickering. I'll stand with my fellow men, women, and Florbo. Kind of feels like a repeat of history because, you know, the camps in China. Yup.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
For
China's
real.
got concentration camps where they harvest organs.
It's like I tell people that, and every single person that I'm like, yeah, do you know about this? No.
Yep.
What? And
Yeah.
they're all shocked.
Yeah.
And it's like, how come people don't know about this?
And tell them this, like,
it's like it's insane. They have concentration camps. They're harvesting organs.
Yeah.
this is the craziest
This has been
conspiracy.
going
Check it
on.
out.
Yeah.
The craziest conspiracy I heard is that they're doing emergency lung transplants for COVID victims.
Oh man.
And you know where they're getting the lungs from.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's the conspiracy theory. I don't know. You know, I'm never one to speculate on overt conspiracies. I try to be skeptical.
It's China. Come on.
Nunya Biz says 3M CEO is also treasurer for University of Minnesota, a college with a CCP-backed branch with heavy revenue dependence from Chinese nationals. Something to look into given how much they are kicking back against helping the USA. Doug says, the thing about the paddle boarder, if that guy starts to drown, that on-duty lifeguard has to rescue him and give him mouth-to-mouth. If the dude's got the CCP cough, that's 100% transmission.
That's
For sure.
a good point.
Yeah.
And another point I made too is if this guy starts doing it and other people start coming thinking they can as well,
Yeah.
then the beach gets overwhelmed. So they try
Yeah.
to stem it, nip the bud before it gets too crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Works.
David Aramon says the kayaker being pulled in is based on the lessons from the USS Cole in October 2000. It was successfully bombed by suicide attack because of relaxed guarding. This was the lesson of what a few or one could do. If that's the case, then that's what I was saying. Are they really scared about an attack?
Exactly.
And that's why they're like, get out?
Yep.
That's scary.
Yep.
K Love says, in my opinion, war isn't far off once you start screwing your closest allies. Thankfully, Canada is starting to manufacture our own PPE. By the way, I heart you, Tim. I appreciate it. Simon Ennifer says, Tim, China's 100-year plan is in the toilet. Anything is possible. Shiloh Prosser, thanks for the super chat. Hayami says, John Teeter predicted World War III. The cause may be different now, but maybe it's because he affected the timeline. But events are all still happening before 2036. After this blows over, Time Machine. You know what John Teeter is?
No.
It's a viral website, it was like forum posts where a guy claimed he was from the future.
Okay.
And said a whole bunch of crazy predictions. The U.S. would crumble into like 4 different regions and stuff. And my understanding is like none of it has come true or something.
So the broken clock.
Yeah, well, fun internet speculations. Xerxes says, Tim, why did you guys stop posting live streams in the community tab? Noticed that you put in 39, but 36 to 38, I had to listen in on Apple Podcasts, and already Soy just looks different than last time.
It's
honestly,
the beard. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
I just slipped because we switched how we were posting things, and then I forgot to post them, and I was like, oh, man, I got to keep posting them, and we'll have to get it set up better.
We do have episodes 31 through 39 up. Those should all be visible
on iTunes.
On all the platforms.
Yeah, everything's on iTunes,
Should be.
or and it should be Spotify too, I think, or
Yeah.
Google.
But if
It's
people are
definitely on
becoming members,
Google.
though, right? We should definitely have it available.
We should definitely have it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's just my fault. Ethan Barron says, Tim and Soy, Jesus, will you fight in a war for our country if it comes to that? Yes, I will.
I
Absolutely.
absolutely would.
I like Fry. Oh, man, we just jumped again. It's great. There we go. I like Fry. Thanks for the super chat. I like Fry again says, thank you for keeping us informed. I keep putting off my prep till I heard you guys talk about the coming corona problem, and I got ready in time for food, toilet paper, and all.
Good.
Excellent.
Nice.
Mike, thanks for the super chat. Brandon and Dan, thanks for joining.
Thank you both.
Robin says, have you considered getting a tiny beanie for the globe and the UFO? Also, when you ship out beanies, will the Lydia beanie be an empty plastic bag a la the Emperor's New Clothes? Sure.
Sure or not.
Mr. Smaberg says, of the Scandinavian countries, Sweden is doing the worst. Approximately 50 deaths per 24 hours and 350 to 400 deaths total. Norway comparatively got 60 deaths total.
Wow.
Really?
There you go.
Wow. Yeah, that's new
Uptick.
information to me.
Dang.
Andrew says, hey, Tim, Lydia, and Soy Jesus. Out of y'all's professional opinion, what is the most likely scenario where multiple nations will be able to successfully invade the United States and take over our government? P.S. I promise I'm not a commie. Wink, wink.
Well,
Dude.
I am not a professional in anything that question relates to. So,
But as a kombucha drinking skateboarder and male model,
Yeah. Oh,
what is your expert opinion?
what's your
well,
take?
I no longer am professional in any of those, but except the kombucha
Kombucha
drinking.
drinker, as you did a promo,
Yeah. Yep.
For free. I don't know. I think the chances are really slim.
0.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
All of a sudden, you'll see every American yelling Molan Labe. Like every single one, every liberal, every overweight feminist
Well-
gender studies will be standing
Yeah.
on the beach.
Loan your friend.
I'm,
Yeah, you
down.
wanna-
I'm kidding, but
Yeah,
many of people,
We're gonna come together.
they're going to be like, come and take it.
Don't tread on me.
Yep.
Yeah, don't tread on me. Tyron says, I go to Navy boot camp July 13th for 8 weeks, then go to Florida for 26 weeks to learn my job as IT. I really hope World War III doesn't happen. I just turned 18 and want to live a lot longer.
Thanks for your service, though.
I too have grown quite fond of living.
Me too.
And would prefer war not to happen.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah. Zachary says, I'm a recent Navy veteran, and I have no doubt that those sailors are being forced to sign paperwork absolving the Navy of all responsibility in regards to C-19. I'll send you whatever evidence I find.
Oh wow.
Thanks.
Mr. Hunt, first name Mike, says, thanks for the hard work and effort every day. You are in a very small group of trusted sources of news info for me, my family, and FB peeps every day, all day. Appreciate it.
Nice.
And Eric says, LA County beaches are closed. Fish tank cleaner lady probably now owns a fish rescue. Which brings us to the next post-apocalyptic segment.
Yeah.
Trump is seizing the means of production.
What?
He really is. It's great, isn't it? The government seizing the means of production. Where are all the commies to be celebrating? They've been demanding that Trump invoke the Defense Production Act for a long time.
Even the Democrats.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the Democrats, well, of course they are. They want the government to seize the means of production.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So of course they're happy about it. Trump has finally invoked the Defense Production Act to force the 3M Corporation to start diverting its masks to us, both from Southeast Asia and what they produce here, to stop exporting them. Naturally, this is causing a lot of people to get really angry. We have this story from the New York Times. Trump seeks to block 3M masks, exports, and grab masks from its overseas customers. The move would significantly expand the American government's reach and reverse President Trump's hesitant use of the Defense Production Act. This is a wartime power.
Yeah.
DPA. It was what, for like the Korean War, I think, or something in the 50s.
And it was invoked for a couple of weeks now, right?
Yeah.
Almost a month, maybe
But
more.
but apparently
But he hasn't used it yet.
he has now.
Oh, he has.
No, he
Against
has, yeah.
against
this
3M.
is right. This is it. This is the first time he's used it.
Yeah. So Trudeau's naturally mad. Everybody was supposed to be getting masks from us is mad. This is a domino effect.
Yeah.
We have a shortages of masks. So we were supposed to be getting masks from China. China turns around the shit.
Right.
China's like, we need them more. So then everyone in the U.S. is like, we got to start building stuff in our own country. So we do. Then a bunch of people say Trump isn't invoking the Defense Production Act and he needs to. So Trump then starts, he tells 3M. The big thing that was missed from this that, the media didn't want to really say is that these companies were already doing it, right? You had a bunch of companies that agreed.
Yeah.
He didn't need to force them to do anything. So he starts telling all of these companies, you need to, make us masks and medical supplies, and they just did it.
Yeah.
He then got criticized for not, forcing them to do it when they didn't need to.
Yeah, but can't you see, like, if he were to just invoke it and then instantly start doing it, they'd be like, well, he's the authoritarian that we thought he was.
Right.
Like, of course he's going to just start abusing his power.
Absolutely.
So it's like one or the other. It's like, I'm actually kind of surprised that the way that they built him up to be such this bad guy, that he didn't abuse the power right away. Like, he didn't like snap his fingers like, all right, I have the power.
Yes.
Hold
Well,
my beer.
Here's
What?
the bigger picture. From The Guardian, U.S. accused of modern piracy after diversion of masks meant for Europe.
Whoa.
Will this strain the relationship between Europe and the U.S.? Whether or not we're going to see World War III, the breakdown of relations between every single urban center is happening, okay?
It's true.
It's not just the EU complaining about the US. It's Germany closing its borders to France and Austria.
Yep.
It's Rhode Island ordering the National Guard and the police to go door to door looking for New Yorkers.
Yeah.
It's Trump saying maybe we got to quarantine New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. So it's a breakdown of local borders too.
Yeah. Everything.
So in the last segment, we were talking about World War III. Yeah, we got, China's encroaching on the South China Sea. Venezuela's attacking this cruise liner. It's a hilarious and pathetic story. Everybody makes fun of Venezuela. They're pathetic. But now we can see that the pandemic might actually be substantially worse than this. It might be like New York City, completely separate from the rest of New York. It's going to be, Philadelphia closes the bridge. So those in the South Jersey suburbs of Philly are completely cut off from Philly.
Yeah.
Trapped on the peninsula. That's the crazy thing about all this. Like, Rhode Island straight up said, if you're from New York, we're going to hunt you down. Like, we're going to go door to door and we're going to find you.
Yep.
So
We don't want you here.
to what extent, I don't know how this will impact relationships between the U.S. and our allies. But we're being strained at home as well. Over in Europe, they're facing something very similar. This is from CNN. Not necessarily a big fan of CNN, but here's the story. Coronavirus sparks a war for masks as accusations fly. Even within France, we saw something crazy. There were like medical supplies coming from France to go into the UK, and France impounded the trucks. Yeah. So we're going to start fighting each other, man. Like, what happens when Canada's out of masks? Are they just going to go in and grab the truck and be like, no way, dude, we need it?
They're going to come into America and take it? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yep.
They're not going to do that.
No.
No way.
What happens when people are desperate? Venezuela just attacked a cruise ship.
That's true.
I think you're right. It's very, very extreme to think that could happen. I think we'd annex Canada before that ever happened. We'd straight up be like, welcome to the American Empire. Now we'll give you stuff.
You're right.
Or, look, the
The
U.S.
51st state, Canada.
Yes.
I guess.
Whoa.
That sounds great.
You
I
were
like
enthusiastic
Canadians.
about
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Oh,
I like
nice.
them too, but I mean, I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
to take their
How
country
many
away from them.
provinces does Canada have? Don't they have like 20?
They have I don't know.
Yeah, it's not just
I
going to be
thought
one.
it was less than that.
It's going to be like 75 states of America or
I thought it was
something.
like 7 or
Awesome.
something. Like
No,
big,
no.
Aren't they huge? Like
There's-
big, massive
No, they got a bunch.
different ones? I
They
guess-
got a bunch of problems. I don't know
Okay.
anything about Canada's government. We're Americans. We don't care.
I don't either. I don't.
They know everything about us, though, because they're America Junior. So there's a bunch of different aspects to this. And the reason why I wanted to highlight Trump's seizing of masks, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, he's like taking them for American use.
Yeah.
New York announced recently that illegal immigrants will get access to the hospital system. How can we simultaneously complain that our masks are going to other countries while also claiming that people who are not citizens of our country would have access to our medical system?
You're right.
Didn't you just tell me?
What?
Didn't you just
Yeah.
tell me that in New York City, an emergency alert went out to all medical students. Tell us what happened.
So I was gaming earlier with a few of my friends, and one of them happens to be in New York. He's in Staten Island, but that's New York City. And I heard, the emergency broadcast. Your phone lights up, and he's like, "Oh, what is this?" And he reads it, and it's basically saying, if you're a medical student, if you know anything about like being a nurse, if you're a doctor, report to your nearest hospital where we need you right now. So they're literally sending an alert system on all phones, all broadcasting in the New York area. Come and help us.
There was a report that medical students were being graduated early.
Nurses certainly were.
Nurses.
Yeah.
They were
Wow.
just like, congratulations, you're done.
Congratulations.
It's like,
on
but
your
I've never actually,
graduation.
don't care,
Nope.
go there.
We'll send you the diploma in a few years.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're kicking the bird out of the nest.
Here's your clinicals for you.
So
Now
check.
fly.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that Europe is fighting amongst the countries within their own union over resources and borders? Even in the U.S., we got border disputes between states. Trump had to dispatch big hospital ships to L.A. and New York. And New York is like, but don't worry, non-citizens will have access to all of this healthcare. The first thing I'll point out, they should.
Agreed.
In the immediate.
Yeah.
Because for one, we want to stop the spread of the virus,
Yeah,
and there are people we have to treat and make sure they live. But there will be a reckoning, because we cannot come out of this with people are going to be asking the question,
To me, that sounds like a seeds for the Civil War.
right?
Like,
Oh,
why does your grandma get to live and mine doesn't?
And-
Because your grandma's taking her bed? She got sick first? No, that's not fair. You guys
Oh
aren't
wait,
citizens.
your grandma's not a citizen?
Oh, snap.
You wanna know what's scary,
yeah,
though?
Man.
You want to know what's scary, though?
What?
It's really easy for me to say right now we should definitely treat non-citizens, illegal immigrants.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not
But what
desperate.
happens when there's no hospitals left and there's bodies lining the streets and there's someone who's not a citizen in front of the hospital and the doctor's coming out and there's someone who is with their mom? They're going to be like, I will end you to save my mother's life. And that's when it gets crazy. Right now, not every hospital is overloaded. They're getting there.
Right.
All I can think of is when you're coming back into the country, there's a U.S. citizen line and a non-U.S. citizen line. And I see that happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be the case? All the American citizens go in until there's no more. Then they start taking in the non-Americans.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
we had the open borders activists for years saying
Yeah.
like we should decriminalize border crossings. Doesn't every single Democratic candidate look like a moron right now when they all said on the debate stage, we will give access to health care, we will decriminalize border crossings, we'll put a moratorium on deportations. We don't have enough hospital beds. New York is launching emergency shelters, emergency hospitals. They're launching ships because we don't have the resources for this. And the entire thing right now is that Trump has to invoke a wartime measure to seize masks that were going to be sold to other countries. He instructs 3M to stop exporting out these masks. We were criticizing China for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
So these countries buy the masks from us, and then Trump steps in? No. Yet people had the nerve this entire time. So there's going to be a reckoning. You know, we talked about the feminism aspect of all of this,
Yeah.
going back to the 1950s. It's not even about that.
Yeah.
If Rhode Island is enforcing its borders, if Louisiana and Florida are enforcing their borders,
Yeah.
you think the United States as a whole is not going to enforce its borders? It's going to be crazy.
You know, I for those, some know that I've been playing Division 2, and it goes back to New York. So I've been running around New York. It's really cool. I used to live in New York for 17 years. And the final fight is on Liberty Island, which is the Statue of Liberty. And there was a quote on the wall right when you get in there. And I was like, I read it and I was like, whoa, like that's, and I'm going to read it. I just pulled it up here. It says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp besides the golden door. And it's like, wow, like that is not what I feel the general environment of America is right now.
It used to be so much easier to say that.
I know, you're right.
Yeah.
It used to
now,
be easier.
Now we have 28,000 people per square mile in New York City. Yeah. How many hospital beds do they have?
3,000.
How many, you know how many police officers New York City has?
What, like 8,000 or
8,000.
something? 8,000?
And 1 in
Right.
6 is infected.
Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I could be wrong about that. Fact check me. I didn't pull that source up. I always want to be careful with this. I always line up all my sources whenever I say stuff. But I was watching the news the other day, and that's what I remember seeing. I'll tell you what, man. If the NYPD gets crippled, someone's going to be hungry. someone's going to go to a hospital and they're going to be like, I'm sick, save me, please. And they're going to be like, we can't.
Yeah.
But it also goes back to, how bad things can really get with the hospitals doing the talking about the do not resuscitate orders.
Yeah.
I think we're heading towards, it's not going to be scapegoating. People want to say it's scapegoating of like minorities or whatever. But you better damn well believe that someone's going to be with their mom or their daughter. Wait till you see some dude who's like 45. He's got, 13, 14-year-old daughter who's sick and coughing up blood.
Yep.
And then he gets to the
Oh,
hospital
man.
and there's someone who's not a citizen. He's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be very careful how I phrase this, but I'll tell you that dad would be like, I have no problem going to prison for the rest of my life to make sure my daughter lives.
That's his hill to die on. For
Yeah,
sure.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's every parent's hill to die on.
And
You're right.
and here's the thing: there's gonna be a lot of Americans who are gonna be like, I don't blame them. Those people weren't supposed to be. They came here illegally. They broke our laws. They cut the line. They displaced other people.
Yep. Why are they getting that?
And
instead of
I'll
that
make it clear:
American child.
they, as human beings, non-citizens should receive the treatment.
Of
100%.
course, yeah.
My fear is that we will come to a point where all the hospitals are overloaded. They're already treating people in the hallways. We had 1,000 people die the other day in a single day.
Dude, in New York City, it's gone a little step above the DNR. They paramedics, when they find people who are in cardiac arrest, if they cannot resuscitate on site, they leave them.
Whoa.
Wow.
You're dead. That was jacked up. I was like,
We are going to
what is
see
gonna
a
happen?
reckoning in this country once this is over, where it's going to be before the 1950s. It's going to be hardcore nationalist,
Yep.
lock the borders down, manufacturing. If you're not a citizen, who are you? What are you doing here?
Yep.
It's gonna be different.
Excuse me. Let me see your papers.
Yeah, it's gonna be way different.
We're already
Seriously.
doing that. Are you serious?
No, I know.
My friend
Yeah.
posted, I saw this on social media, holding a badge that says essential worker.
Yeah.
You go outside without it, they're like, what are you doing?
I would have
Yep.
that if I still worked at the hospital, because that's what you get. Like, you have to be able to demonstrate that you're.
I mean,
really
that's
working.
been the case I lived in Arizona for a long time, and in pretty much anywhere along the southern border, you'd have to produce. I mean, even driving here, we got pulled over.
Oh.
And my wife is a Swedish citizen, and we're married now, so she can live here legally. And she didn't have her passport, and they were like, "Are you U.S. citizens?" And she couldn't say yes because she's not a citizen.
Right.
She's got her green card.
Right.
But I didn't have my passport. The guy didn't even ask me anything. She just said, "Oh, I'm not," and he was like, I saw the look on his face, like, "Whoa, all right." And she's like, "Well, let me get my passport." And like, my car was packed, so she had to get out of the car and go walk around. Suddenly, there was 13 police officers surrounding my car.
When did this happen?
Gosh.
Driving here when I was
Whoa.
moving here.
So just a couple months ago.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa,
Whoa.
like I'm still
Whoa.
sitting in the passenger seat because it was her turn to drive at that moment. So it was just like, I'm like, okay, this is weird, but I knew she had a green card. She got it in her backpack and came back around, handed it to the guy, and he was like, okay, all right, you can go. Didn't even ask me. I could have been an illegal. he didn't even ask me for anything. Just the fact that she said no,
Threw
I
him
need to
off.
go get this. Definitely. But I think, anyone could have, they probably were following protocol. Like if it was an illegal who was going into the back to get a gun or something, it's like they surrounded our car though. It was very quickly and they didn't say anything. It was like a unspoken thing. Like they just all knew and they just like filtered out and just were surrounding the car. I was like, whoa, this is nuts.
This is scary, man. You know why?
Hmm.
Because I think back to I know I really hate making the comparisons because everyone does it. Godwin's law?
Yeah.
World War II.
Mm-hmm.
When they were demanding papers, there was no legitimate reason for it other than they were, anti-Semitic. They were racist. They were supremacists.
Yeah.
If you take all of that ideology but tack on an actual pandemic,
Right.
then everyone will agree with you and say, oh, please check their papers. You know what they're doing in China? They're making you get a code to prove you're not sick.
Right.
Yeah, the
And-
green phone thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was reading a story about it that you have to check in, and if you leave the city, then your code becomes void, and they track you
man.
via GPS.
No way.
Yeah, they're putting ankle monitors on people.
Yes, and Google is starting to use location source to kind of track how well people are complying with quarantine orders.
Man, the end is nigh.
It's like, what is happening?
Let's do this. Let's jump over to the next story we have is the 5G conspiracy theory. So we're going to move a little bit away from the world at war and all these crazy stuff, but it's
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
I've read some of the stuff, so
Yeah,
it
man.
So-
falls in line, man. I'm telling you.
But check this out. There are people who believe that the symptoms we're seeing from coronavirus are actually 5G signals.
Yep.
No, please.
That's what they're
please,
saying.
please.
Let's
No.
find out.
But you want to know what's messed up? YouTube officially released its editorial guidelines for what we're not allowed to say.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
one of
nice.
them is we are not allowed to ever claim in any way that coronavirus symptoms are caused by 5G technology.
Okay.
So that is not what we are saying.
We are not saying that.
We are not saying those things.
We are saying that is not the case, but
Yes.
YouTube officially warns everybody.
Don't say that.
You
Wow.
cannot. They give you a list, and I'm like, why is YouTube issuing editorial guidelines?
That is interesting.
Yeah, that is new.
So if you say that stuff, they demonetize you and derank you and hide your content and shuffle it away.
Wow.
I will say, I have been working with cellular technology for a really long time.
Well, let's save it for the subject.
All right. Let's do super chats. I've got a lot of experience in this, so
I know.
we'll talk about
Let's
it.
pick your brain. Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
Let's figure out where the last super chat was.
Really appreciate you all being here with us. Thanks.
Welcome.
All right. Angelina
guys.
Luna says Venezuelan narco government is threatening civilians. Oh, you know it. And I will say, before we read more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow our social media
Yeah, man.
on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
Because you can send suggestions to Adam on Twitter and Instagram as well, right?
It's you guys are amazing too. I really am. I'm getting slammed with so many stories. I almost get lost in the amount that you guys are tagging me. It's wonderful. So thank you. And
This is why I can't do it.
because we have picked up a couple stories, many actually. So
Yeah,
and
the Duncan Lunt thing.
I'm sure
Yeah,
when we were talking about it, you're like, I sent him that.
Yeah, so send
So
them over.
Keep sending them to me.
It
It's
is a
awesome.
lot.
I might
Yeah.
not be able to read all of them or get to them all, but I appreciate you guys for sending me ideas. It's great.
All right, let's
Yeah,
grab
man.
some more of these. Cellular says, did you hear that New Jersey will reopen gun shops on Tuesday? If true, I've had my license for 2 years. If it hasn't lapsed, I'm buying my first gun due to this.
Well, I know where I'm going on Tuesday.
Did you
morning.
write your essay? For real?
Probably.
Fingerprints done?
Yeah.
I'm going to write my essay. I'm
Yeah,
dead
I
serious.
will
You know, I
wanna
am,
be
and
an
you know
army.
what I'm going to write? I'm going to write 2A.
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 2A, that's
Shortest
it.
essay.
Period.
Shortest
ever.
essay.
Yeah,
I'd
man.
put,
And
a,
what are
put
they
a
gonna
period on it.
Good, okay.
Correct grammar.
Exclamation point.
Or I think my reason for wanting a weapon is the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
you know what I'll write? I can't think of the words off the top of my head, but the right to bear, what is it?
Right to keep and bear arms.
No, just the text of the Second
Formation
Amendment.
Yeah.
of a well-armed
The security of
militia
a
or
free
whatever.
state.
Just
Yeah.
like copy it directly
Yeah.
into the paper. and
Exactly.
just hand it in.
Exactly what it says.
Like, here you go.
The security of a free
Perfect.
state, the right
How
to bear
will
arms.
you deny me?
Will they?
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I know. What's your reasoning for wanting it? Did you have the text of the Second Amendment?
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
I'll
It's
just put
short,
that.
It's
Shall
sweet.
not be infringed.
Perfect.
And I'll bet it's really easy for you
Are
guys.
you going to dare infringe me?
Yeah, don't
They
infringe
will,
me,
yeah, of
bro.
course. Keith, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Tyron Drake says, I go to Navy boot. Oh, I read that one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Want to make sure. Thanks. Which one did I read? Okay, here we go. I read that one.
Next one.
Eric
Next
Elman says, LA County beaches are closed. I read that one.
Yeah, next one. That
Mr.
one.
Toastley says, CV in our meds from China affected old people first. At a nursing home.
I don't want to think about that.
Keith Campbell says, no need to write an essay in New Jersey for FID card unless it's your town only. By the way, Murphy blocked Identigo from processing new applicants open for all other services. I guess we'll figure out what happens. I know people who had to write an essay, and that's what they told me.
No, we'll figure it out.
It might be my town. And Taro DH says, tread on me, Daddy Trump. All right. Andrew H says, rumor, quote, preparing to attack the United States, American diplomats are negotiating with us and Russia. We have a large number of diplomatic personnel and tanks here every day. I don't know what that's a reference to. Student of History says, invading the U.S. would be a nightmare for anyone who would try massive street-to-street fighting, followed by mountain fighting, followed by miles of absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, angry Americans shooting.
Yep.
From all directions.
Right, yeah.
Good luck.
Godspeed.
Paxton Fairbanks says, the world would fight the U.S. to a standstill but never be able to invade due to one single reason. They don't have the transport infrastructure to move troops as effectively as the U.S. That's why we built the interstate highway system,
It's true.
so we can move
Yeah, we are so
troops from...
huge.
Oh, yeah, massive.
Yeah, we are.
That's gonna help
Randy
us.
says, I have my own conspiracy theory. When Tim was about to be born, the beanie was already worn. This is real, guys. Don't disagree with me.
I agree.
Yorkshire Tom says, America is the best idea an Englishman ever had.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Smalberg, Norway just got a full cargo plane with masks and medical supplies from China. Wuhan probably incoming.
Well, hopefully they actually work.
I hope they
Seahawk, thanks for the super chat. Hector says, Tim, and as a Venezuelan, I can tell you that we will be very happy being part of the U.S. But remember, Iran, Russia, and China control the country.
Yeah.
There it is. Ethan Johansson says, can't they use air ambulances to bring patients from overloaded hospitals to rural hospitals with barely any business right now? Maybe non-COVID ones. I mean, that's very resource extensive.
Yeah, I was gonna
flying
say,
back and forth.
It's super expensive
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And you can't like haul 20 people.
Yeah, especially
like
if they're
one
on
person.
ventilators.
A couple people, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, if they need to stay on a ventilator, that means they got to
Yep.
take the whole
Yeah.
system with them. I mean, I don't know how it works.
I
So
don't even know
Right.
if that would work.
Kelly Prophet says, a week ago, Remington Arms offered New York its 1 million square foot plant to manufacture for NY's medical needs, and Cuomo has not responded. Yet he's on the news constantly saying how much they need. Why?
I heard someone actually tweeted this at me, and they said that Cuomo doesn't want to deal with it because they produce weapons.
Right. Probably.
Seriously?
And he's got to think about re-election.
Oh my gosh.
He's got to think about election true, because it feels like they're kind of propping him up to
Totally.
If he doesn't have
Yeah.
any more
take the
voters.
stage.
BV says, if an attack on the U.S. is going to happen, we should expect it will kick off with cyber weapons against civilian infrastructure. U.S. has kinetic hegemony, but the cyber domain is not so asymmetric. I think it actually is a little bit, but you're right. In the physical space, the U.S. is just like, no one's got anything against us. We got 20 aircraft carriers or something. In cyber warfare, it is more balanced, and we do have a bunch of weak spots. We are really powerful in terms of cyber warfare, though. We are.
Yeah.
Stuxnet. What was the other one?
that we
worm
even
thing.
know about.
Yeah, that's
the
only the stuff we know
Right.
about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, like Stuxnet was huge.
I don't
and
even
I think
know
that
what
was
that
it was a U.S. Israeli cyber weapon that caused Iranian centrifuges to overload, spin out of control, and blow up.
whoa.
I don't know the full details. Again, fact me on that stuff. You know, it's not a current story. It's pretty old. All right. Lazy Enthusiasm says, current estimate for the day is roughly 1,300 deaths today in USA.
Sounds right.
Yikes, man.
Getting up
Andrew Starr says, I'm worried about the terror attack on hospitals. About a terrorist attack. Yeah.
That would suck.
Get Rex says, what do you think of YouTubers going to apocalyptic hospitals the next day and they are empty? Also, this Q and children rescue thing opinion. I don't know anything about the Q thing. And I think a lot of people make assumptions about what hospitals are supposed to look like based on movies.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking exactly.
Like-
people, what do you expect? People running around. Ah,
Yeah.
It's the end. It's like,
That's not what they
no,
look like.
it's gonna-
they're all inside.
Have you ever been in a
You got to
have
go into like
But-
all
but-
the departments.
Have you ever been in a hospital? Like
Yes.
actually admitted?
Right.
They
Yeah.
wheel you into a little special area, pull the curtain, and
Right.
that's it. No one's running around screaming.
Yeah.
You know? So when things are hectic, and I've been in a hectic hospital, I was in a bed and they didn't have like a designated space, but it didn't seem like a movie or anything.
Right.
I just think people are assuming they expect things to be like they've seen in media or fiction or something.
Right. Yeah, and the
Well-
empty parking lot thing is like
No
you were
guests
saying.
allowed.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There's no visitors.
What do they
There's
think?
no regular procedures.
Right.
But,
You
but,
know,
but
they're not
also, do
doing
they think
surgeries.
that a new COVID patient is coming in every minute?
Right.
That is not how that works either.
No, people are getting admitted and they're going into their beds and then they're telling people to go home and then they have them in their bed.
So unless you're literally walking into the ICU, which you are not at this point, you're going to be a visitor, you're a guest, you're not going into the ICU. You will not see any kind of craziness. You probably won't see a COVID patient at all.
I also think
point.
the easiest way to explain this is thanks to Project Veritas, who got their video taken down by Facebook and have been smeared by the media, because they actually showed some hospitals are not overloaded,
Right.
and the staff are like, I don't think it's a big deal, and some are saying it's a big deal, people are dying.
Exactly. That's what you expect.
Well, you're getting a lot of people that are going to one hospital and being like, how come there's nobody here?
Because this is not a hotspot right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Not yet.
And
You know?
the best example was, I love the meme. It said, McDonald's serves 2 billion cheeseburgers every year. Why can't I order, 1,000
450
cheeseburgers from this
million.
McDonald's? Well, like
Nailed it.
one McDonald's can't do that. So I think I'm not an expert. I don't know what a hospital's supposed to look like, but I will defer to what Veritas found. They went to the hospital and this woman said it's serious. People are dying. They're coming in. They have diabetes. They're overweight. They
Right.
can't breathe. And then he talked to other people and they said, it's not so bad here. Yeah, that makes sense. I saw a ton of comments from people saying you need to understand some areas of Manhattan, of New York, are getting hit really hard and some aren't.
Isn't that why the video got taken down?
It got taken down because a National Guardsman
Right.
said that he didn't think it was. He said something like it was not. It was like the flu.
Yeah, it was approximate to
Yeah.
the flu.
So Facebook was like misinformation, delete. It's like a National Guard guy said that, dude. You can't.
That's an offhand opinion from someone who does not work in the field.
And James literally says in the video, He's like, we're not telling you what to believe. We're not pushing an agenda. We're just literally telling you exactly what was said. CNN writes that they were goading them into saying it. It's like, are you kidding me? He literally asked the question, how do you feel about this? I'm not sure if I should trust the media. That was it. He didn't goad anybody to say anything.
You shouldn't trust the media.
Right. Yeah, they did it better than anyone else. HD says, all unconstitutional laws are null and void by default. Madison v. Marbury, 1806. If only. South Reject says you should check out the movie Red Dawn. I will. Greg says, Australia has closed the borders between almost every state. My state of West Australia even has travel restrictions between the various regions of the state, fines up to $50,000 in place.
Wow.
Yikes, man. Dang. Caddis Bain says, need 5G in northern Wisconsin. I have a 75 gigabyte limit per month on data before slow down. Cody Hansen says, just keep it going. Wolfsbane says, my father just sent me an article that the African-American community are more likely to be susceptible and die from COVID-19 due to weak lungs and heart conditions. Thought it was interesting to mention. Ocasio-Cortez said something similar.
Is that true?
I don't know if it's true, but some lefty politicians have said the same thing.
I saw an opinion piece about it. And I do know that they are susceptible to some certain diseases, including some forms of sickle cell anemia.
Stuff, though?
I don't know. Don't know about that. Yeah.
Che Diem says, apparently Wuhan was the first place in the world to roll out 5G network. I guess we'll read about it. Voken says 5G is for losers that can't stand for not having the newest thing. As soon as it becomes available, real Chads use 4G because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, that's fair.
No Control says, say the name thing we do for NFA items, all lawful purposes. Mad Gammon Matt says, about to head in as a third shift essential worker. Yay.
Hey, you are working.
Stay safe.
Good for you.
Stephen A says, my friend is undergoing state police training, and they are being graduated 3 months early due to many state and local officers being sick with COVID.
Oh, man.
Yikes, man.
Police with less training?
Yeah.
Great.
Wolfalt De Leon says, when does news become propaganda? Have you seen Q? I have not. I don't know anything about it. S&M says, Tim, why has no one addressed that China has taken down like 90% of the webcams on traffic cams? That's a good question. I don't know if that's true. I'll check it out.
I don't know.
Rodel says there is zero chance of 5G causing the Wu flu. The greatest danger of 5G is from MELs, maximum exposure limits, of the antenna the cell phones use, dependent on the carrier frequencies. Unipod says, where can one buy a UFO lamp? I don't remember. It was an Instagram ad. Google it. And the website pops up, though. It's the best I can offer.
Let me see if I can find it.
ZX says, Boston hospitals getting game-changer machines that sterilize 80,000 protective masks a day. Wow, cool.
Awesome.
John McGuire says, I was going to write something else, but wait, you never saw the original Red Dawn? I have not.
Nope.
Evil Morty says, Trump wants to have voterled, what is it? Voterled, and believes they cheat. Oh, voter ID, and believes they cheat by mail-in ballots. Thoughts? He just said that today, not so sure if you've seen it. Don't we already vote by mail?
You can in some places. I don't think it's universal across the country.
I don't like the idea. You know why? Really easy to manipulate. It's very insecure. Some random person can go up and knock, you put your ballot in the mail, and what if some dumb kid throws a cherry bomb in the mailbox?
My mom's
your votes
mail
are gone?
got stolen for years.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. Someone snatches your ballot and runs away with it?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather go to the station. I think it's very insecure. We got to have secure elections, man.
I agree.
Rodel says the transmission waves may cause resonance frequencies in the ionizing radiation zones depending on the carrier frequencies. Cheers. Raif Marshall says, repeal the NFA, shall not be infringed. Kyla says, just bought my first, are you saying drone? My first done, but have the cough now. Goof Troop says, what happened to Jim's dog? I don't know. My man says, $2 for the floating object fund. Appreciate it. Xeon Reborn says, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte orders police and military to kill citizens who defy coronavirus lockdown.
Yeah.
Cody Hansen says, Wuhan 5G correlation sounds like when vacuum cleaner operation was correlated with toxic shock syndrome. Needs data.
Sure does.
Well, let's read about the strange 5G conspiracy.
Yes.
The Guardian reports broadband engineers threatened due to 5G coronavirus conspiracies. EE suspects telephone mast engulfed by fire in Birmingham was an arson attack as celebrities claim COVID-19 caused by new network. I have heard so many conspiracy theories about 5G. And it's
Yeah.
the strangest thing to me because people say the same things every time a new radio frequency technology comes out. I know because I've been dealing with these technologies for the past decade.
Yeah.
I remember WiMAX. Remember WiMAX?
No.
Short-lived 4G technology used by Sprint. They got rid of it. They didn't like it.
Okay.
They switched. Then everyone started adopting long-term evolution, 3GPP, whatever you want to call it. I'm not an engineer on cell technology or anything like that. I just was hacking these gizmos and gadgets with my buddies, and we kept hearing that 4G was going to cause cancer and all these things. 5G starts coming out. I start hearing the same things, and I just roll my eyes.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Why would all of these governments conspire to put out 5G waves that would kill a bunch of people?
I don't get it either.
What do they think? It's like
And
a certain percentage of people will die, or
they say celebrities, but they're not celebrities. They're like mini celebrities
who are saying this stuff?
Yeah, like someone actually tweeted me this story, and I was just like looking into it a little bit, and I was just like, this is so silly. Like it's just a bunch of random people, and then I didn't recognize any of the celebrities. Granted, I'm not really like I don't really care to like know who's who in what circles, but it just doesn't make sense.
Somebody actually torched a 5G tower, set it on
Seriously?
fire.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's photos of it going viral.
Oh my god.
Let's read this. The Guardian says telecoms engineers are facing verbal and physical threats during the lockdown. Baseless conspiracy theories linking coronavirus to the rollout of 5G technology spread by celebrities such as Amanda Holden prompt members of the public to abuse those maintaining vital mobile phone and broadband networks.
See, already a celebrity. I have no idea who it is.
It was British. I guess.
Amanda Holden. I don't know.
It's
who
the
that is.
Guardian, man. It's the UK. Huh?
Oh, I don't know that. Okay.
Facebook has removed one anti-5G group in which users were being encouraged to supply footage of them destroying mobile phone equipment.
Jeez.
With some Luddites, with some contributors seemingly under the pretense that it may stop the spread of coronavirus, and some running leaderboards of where equipment had been targeted. So let me get this straight. Is there some kind of conspiracy that some people are genetically predisposed to being wiped out by the
5G
by the 5G waves?
I don't know.
Is that why they're swabbing people's noses to get a DNA sample?
Yeah.
And they could be like, aha, this proves that the 5G will harm you? Do they think like 5G is designed to cull the masses?
I have no idea.
That's so weird.
You know what? It just feels like they're looking for anything now. Like, oh, that must be the answer. Wonderful. We can rally against that.
It's like I'm willing to entertain there's negative side effects. I think there was one study that said that there was, here I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
There was a warehouse in Chicago I used to skate at. They had a bunch of antennas on the roof. And you know what the groundskeeper would say? Don't go on the roof. There's a lot of radiation. It's radio waves and stuff. Not supposed to be it's not ionizing, but
Yeah.
he's like, trust me, man. It's really, really powerful stuff. It'll mess you up. Don't go up there. And
Okay.
that's what the engineers were saying.
Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
video. That's kind of in line with what I was about to say. I saw this video. I think it was someone in Russia. It looked like they were on like maybe the 12th floor, right by the window, and they had the Geiger counter, and they would go to the window and it would spike,
Ooh.
and then walk back into
That's
the court.
ionizing radiation, though.
Oh, is that what that is? But
I mean, it's supposed to be.
What is that doing to you though? Is it doing
The
anything?
ionizing stuff?
Yeah.
Breaking down your DNA.
That's
and
not
Right.
good.
Exactly. So I mean, and he was pointing at the tower, which is like on the roof of the building next to him.
I don't believe that seems.
I don't.
That's
Well,
weird.
I don't know. I just remember seeing that. And
When
I
I
was like,
went-
"Whoa, that's a little crazy."
When I was
And it
in,
was right when 5G first can come out.
When I went to Fukushima, we had a bunch of radiation detectors.
Yeah.
You'd put it on the ground, and it would go wing, and like the number would start spiking.
Yeah.
You could it wasn't like pointing at stuff. You'd put it on the ground, and then all of a sudden the number would start going up really. And
So
I'd
you had to
like,
be
wow.
close.
I mean, it depends. Like if there's, I guess, gamma wave radiation, you'll pick up a ton of it. I really doubt they're blasting that stuff out of 5G towers. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's not how that works.
And that was the only time I've ever seen anything like that. And it seems like they've got it, and companies are starting to set it up, and there's.
I don't know. We got 5G. We got 5G here. I haven't noticed any
Yeah,
problems.
do you have 5G?
Yeah.
I mean, we seem fine.
Yeah, we seem fine. Nobody
You don't have
got
any
sick.
abnormal
So far.
growth.
Well, so let's
That we
check this
know
out. They say video footage of a 70-foot telephone mast on fire in Birmingham this week has also circulated widely alongside claims it was targeted by anti-5G protesters. Network operator EE told The Guardian that its engineers were still on the site assessing the cause of the fire, but it looks likely at this time that it was an arson attack. The company said it would be working with the police to find the culprits. It said, quote, To deliberately take away mobile connectivity at a time when people need it more than ever to stay connected with each other is a reckless, harmful, and dangerous thing to do. We will try to restore full coverage as quickly as possible, but the damage caused by the fire is significant. The problem has become so bad that engineers working for BT Openreach, which provides home broadband services, have also taken to posting public pleas on anti-5G Facebook groups asking to be spared the on-street abuse as they are not involved in maintaining mobile networks.
Yeah,
Wow.
I actually, in this stuff that I was reading, there's images of this different people straight up yelling, "You're murderers! You're killing people!" to like, the guys in the yellow vests, like installing 5G cables. They're just there to pull cable line. They're not. But people are yelling them, calling them murderers. So it's like, whoa, dang. So that's probably what they're referring to there.
Yeah, totally.
The on-street abuse.
Industry lobby group Mobile UK said the incidents were affecting efforts to maintain networks that are supporting home working and providing critical connectivity to the emergency services. Vulnerable consumers and hospitals' telecoms engineers are considered key workers under the government's guidelines. In one widely circulated video that has attracted millions of views on Twitter, individuals working for the broadband company Community Fiber are abused by a woman who claimed without any evidence that they were installing 5G as part of a plot to kill the population.
That's exactly what I was just referring
That's what it was?
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. That's it.
Yeah.
This is the way you do it, man. They must be giant directed energy weapons that we've been hearing about all this time.
Really?
What is this like, a Kingsman style plot to cull the world because there's too many people? Is that what they think it is?
Maybe.
I think the movie Kingsman's actually interesting because the bad guy makes an interesting point. You've seen Kingsman, right?
I don't think I have.
All right,
You've seen it, right? But
Lydia?
Yeah.
We've talked about it a couple times, and you've already.
Spoil-
I already know what you're gonna say.
Right.
We
Samuel L.
talked about it
Jackson.
already.
Yeah.
The bad guy says global warming is a result of too many people. If we do nothing, all people will die. So we have to kill a bunch of people.
See, and you know why I don't think I've seen it? Because I would have remembered him having a lisp.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
You said he has
Right.
a lisp
Yeah,
when
he
he
does.
says it. I
Yeah.
don't remember Sam Jackson ever having
So,
a lisp.
the good-
So I haven't seen it.
So the good guys are like, we're going to stop you from killing all of these people.
Right.
But the dude makes, well, I guess the point of the movie is that he's wrong. The Earth isn't going to kill all, global warming, whatever. But the point is, the bad guy's like, hey, look, the world's going to end. We got to, kill all these people. The good guys are like, no, you can't do that. Is that what these people think this is basically happening? Like the global elites are launching cellular technology? That's literally the plot of Kingsman.
And they're staying in 4G. Their 4G network
So
circles.
so in Kingsman,
safe away from
Yeah,
5G.
man.
in Kingsman, the bad guy gives out SIM cards for free. He's like a tech mogul, and he's like, free cell phones, and everyone gets the phone, and then the phone plays a noise which makes them really aggressive and fight each other and beat each other to death. So it's not identical.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh man.
It's
You
not
gotta
identical.
watch it.
What a
But
great
is
plot.
is
Yeah,
is
man.
that what people believe, that like the 5G is being deployed because super wealthy people in government and the secret cabal is like, we're gonna purge the masses, like Kingsman? Was Kingsman like a wink wink nudge nudge?
I don't know.
Maybe it's gotten into their brains. I don't know.
It's based in London or Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So maybe they saw it and they were like, "Hey, that's in
Look at
our
this, look at
hometown."
Social media posts from celebrities such as singer Anne Marie have helped spread the theory.
Who?
While
I don't know.
UK man,
UK
while Holden,
plus.
a judge on Britain's Got Talent,
Oh, never seen
shared
it.
a link to a popular change.org petition promoting the rumor that the symptoms of coronavirus are in reality due to residing near a 5G mast. The petition was subsequently removed following inquiries from The Guardian.
What?
International radiation experts have repeatedly made clear that the new high-speed telephone system does not pose a risk to humans, while pointing out that the coronavirus has spread widely in many countries without any 5G
Yeah.
coverage, such as Iran.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
like the islands. There's
Yeah.
someone was saying that I don't remember where I was reading it, but they were saying like, my brother, my dad thinks that 5G is causing all this, and their main reason is because it's in all these countries that have 5G now, and it's like, well, what about all the countries that don't have it?
Iran.
It's there. It's
Like their
there
government-
also throughout like Costa Rica. There's Madagascar.
You know what? The government,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. government, deployed by plane parachute 5G
5G.
into Iran to kill.
The satellites.
Yeah. I don't
Satellites.
know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
World Link.
Yes.
I think this stuff's silly. It's I would never just blindly be like, I trust all of these companies to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I certainly think we have seen governments and major corporations dramatically like screw over people ridiculously. You know
Agreed.
that like
and pay $1 million fine or $100 million fine when they have $2 billion profits.
Yeah.
You know.
I got to be really careful about this next part
Oh.
because I don't got the source pulled up. But wasn't
Uh-oh.
there a company that produced pills that had them infected by HIV in the 80s?
Ooh,
I heard about this.
Yeah.
I have not heard this.
Can you Google it just to
I
make sure?
Yeah, let me
Can't
look.
Because unless we have a
confirm or
verified
deny
source,
it.
I'm going to be careful.
Can neither
So look, I get it,
confirm nor
man.
deny.
But I remember watching a documentary, and that was something that it was about basically like the opioid crisis.
It
you know,
was it Bayer?
Is that who says that? What source?
Google.
What's the source? Legit
That's
news
from
source. So we don't get
CBS News.
CBS News. What do they
Yeah.
say?
So it said Bayer sold HIV risky meds.
yep. Everyone in the chat
selling
agrees.
a blood clotting product that stopped potentially fatal bleeding in hemophiliacs that was linked to the risk of HIV infection.
Yep.
That was a.
So wait,
sounds right.
was it tainted with it or was it
It
what?
says contaminated hemophilia blood products were a serious public health problem in the 70s and 80s.
Contaminated with what?
This is now from Wikipedia. These products cause large numbers of hemophiliacs to become infected with HIV and hepatitis
Boom.
C.
There you go.
There it is.
There were a
So
couple
yes.
different companies. Yeah, Bayer is one of them.
If somebody comes to me and says they think it's possible that this thing would cause, some kind of symptoms or whatever, my immediate reaction is never like, you're crazy. The moon is not made of cheese. It's, I'll Google it. I'll look into
I'll
it.
look it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any sane rational person is going to be like, that I don't know if I believe. I'm skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look into it.
Yeah.
And I looked into this and I don't believe it.
I
Yeah.
agree. I don't
Yeah.
believe it.
Like
either.
the Iran is a really good point.
Right.
Iran's got a bunch of COVID stuff. It has nothing to do
Oh,
with
yeah,
5G.
dude.
Right.
It was convenient, in my opinion, that people have been complaining about 5G stuff for a while. Now, there is a real risk with 5G in that it's disruptive to satellite signals.
Yeah.
So for weather forecasting and other stuff like that, it's
Okay.
going to start causing spottiness. And that's about it so far that I've seen. And then all of a sudden COVID happens and then someone linked the two. And then you get this viral video of the woman screaming, you're going to kill people. Wow.
Yep. And the Earth is flat.
Yeah. So,
No, the earth is hollow.
Excuse
yeah,
me.
of course.
Yes.
Dyson Earth.
Dyson
Yes.
Earth. Yeah.
So I think this to me sounds a little bit. So it was in Birmingham, England, right? It sounds
yeah.
a little bit like a case of localized mass hysteria.
Really? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's where
well,
like
because people are like upset about coronavirus. They're really
Yeah.
worried. They're fixated on one thing. They're
Right.
famous people are saying it. They're like, oh, this is it.
No.
And it's an easy
It's not
explanation.
just there. It is not just there. I was looking into this earlier, and it's people in America too.
Oh, okay, maybe
No,
that-
of course.
it's all
But
over
what
the
she's
place.
saying is that people are trying to find a reason to explain what's happening around them.
Right.
And one of the things about conspiracy theories is that for some people, it's easier to think it's caused by 5G.
Yeah.
Because 5G is something you have more control over.
Right.
Okay.
It is
Like if it
nuts.
was 5G doing this, you could say, "Don't turn that on,"
Yeah.
and you'd save everyone's life. It's the easy out.
Be a hero. You could burn a tower and be a hero.
Yeah.
But
That's what I was saying. People want something
Yeah.
to blame.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because the reality is they have no control.
Yeah.
Yep.
The virus is coming. You can't see it. It's going to get you.
I was
Yep.
thinking it was localized, but maybe since we have the internet, it's less localized.
We should jump to the next segment
Yes.
Sure.
because we have only so
Do
much
it.
time left.
That is true. Oh
Yep.
gosh, yeah.
This is amazing.
Ooh.
Film review.
Oh yes.
A movie called Cuck. Angry, unemployed, and full of alt-right stoked rage.
Oh, man.
Cuck's protagonist is ready to explore in Rob Lambert's discomforting, if over-rigged character study. October 2nd, 2019. Have you ever heard the saying, my friends? Get woke, go broke?
Yes, from
You're
you.
familiar?
It is the movie personification of it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, it's a what is it, like a truism? I guess it's
Yeah,
not.
at
It's
this
not
point.
really always true. Some woke movies do really
okay,
well.
Yeah.
I guess The Invisible Man made money, but it was like
Did
woke
it?
trash.
Right.
People, I don't know. Some people liked it. It wasn't like overt wokeness. Like this is over the top.
Ooh.
It's basic.
I can't. There's still a part of me that thinks that this movie doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
This is the Shazam.
Look at
Or-
this.
No,
Maybe,
what is
yeah.
What is that? That genie movie with what's his name?
Kazan.
Kazam.
Kazam, yeah.
That's what it is. This is the Kazam. It never happened.
Never happened.
Take a look. Take a
Ne-
look.
never
Pull it up.
happened.
What is
Oh.
that? What does that say?
Oh, what's that number?
$0 US.
What is that number?
Zero.
Zero.
Whoa.
How is that possible? I think it's a mistake.
It must. I think it must.
You can
That's
see-
what I'm saying. I feel
It's
like
gotta
there's
be.
something's wrong.
The movie Cuck.
I don't get it.
From nationalfile.com. The movie Cuck made $0 at the box office. I don't know what that source is. NewsGuard, for whatever they're worth, says it's not reliable. Here's a Reddit post from Kotaku in Action saying the movie Cuck made $0 at the box office.
So when was it in the box? When was it actually released in the movies?
My understanding, so I have the Wikipedia here for it, and they say that it was the release date in the United States was October 4th, 2019.
October 4th.
So long ago.
$0. That's got to be a mistake.
Wait,
though,
what
right?
else? What else came out October 4th?
I have no idea.
Is there another
I don't know.
Do you want to try and look
crazy
up like
movie
October 4th?
that
Let me
like
see.
totally blew it out of the water? And everyone's like, what should we go see? This big, huge blockbuster, this huge, or Cuck? Oh,
whoa.
let's go to these instead.
I have not seen Cuck. I will not see Cuck. It's got a terrible audience score. But check this out. Bromesco went on to favorably compare Cuck to Todd Phillips' 2019 film Joker, calling it more repellent, honest, and astute than this week's odds-on box office champion.
So that's saying that Joker came out the same time, is it?
No.
Did it?
No.
I don't
Nowhere
know.
Near.
So here's what the movie's about, though. Let's get to the point.
Okay.
Basically, it's some dude, and he gets radicalized by YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
YouTube does it.
Yes.
Yes, his online vlog. And then he starts building a following, and it makes him crazy, I guess.
Okay.
I remember hearing about this around then, but I just didn't care. I really can believe it made $0
Yeah.
because they put it in select theaters, and then no one cared to go see it,
Right.
and so it made no
So
money.
it wasn't like a big movie put in all theaters.
Yeah.
It was like
Select.
specific
Yeah.
ones. Well, they chose the wrong theaters.
Right. And they didn't
Here, check it out.
advertise well.
This,
Like,
I think.
keep
Look,
seeing. I see Joker
it
throughout
came out
this whole
around. It
thing.
came out around the same time. Look at this. They wrote this. This is Variety, and this is October 2nd. If this weekend you're only seeing one depressing character study about an unemployable, fatherless, antisocial man-child who lives with his sickly mother, is often unattractively shirtless, and eventually decides society must pay violently for his general misery, then you are almost certainly going to see Joker. As it happens, however, there's an alternative, also fitting that description perfectly well. Cuck is in fact Joker, with even less vestige of superheroes than Todd Film's atypical comic book movie. About precisely the sort of people some have feared will take Joker as an incitement to real-world violence.
Oh.
The usually white incel-type man who feels marginalized and somehow robbed of success, who in worst-case scenarios ends up shooting up a school, workplace, or other public space, so to feel his rage isn't entirely impotent. What?
Guess what day the Joker came out?
October 4th?
Yep. Same day.
Weird. So now
Yeah, really?
now I know why it made $0.
So one of the best movies in the past 20 years overshadowed it completely.
I'm not seeing it on my list here, though.
I just pulled up the Joker wiki.
Really? Interesting.
And it says
That must have been it.
October 4th.
I wonder
Cuck
if
made
that was
Same
$0.
Well, okay, that makes sense.
Everyone's
the-
like, the Joker or Cuck?
this.
The Wikipedia doesn't mention it making $0.
Joker.
Yeah. Oh,
This
really?
is
It doesn't.
look at this.
Oh,
Let's read the plot.
Oh,
you
man.
ready? You're ready to have the whole movie
Oh,
spoiled
wait.
for all of you.
Spoilers.
This is the one time I wouldn't give a spoiler warning. It's a simple paragraph.
Okay.
Brooding loner Ronnie lives with his possessive mother in the wasteland of Van Nuys. Rejected from the military for mental instability and petty crime, he ekes out a dismal existence. Ronnie's only world is the one he makes online on his computer. After creating a vlog channel on the downfall of real America, he rails from his video platform against those he perceives as enemies. As Ronnie gains confidence from the online extremist community, his channel grows. Meanwhile, sexual frustration leads him to a local swinger couple who pay him to play cuckold in their homemade amateur pornography. Unaware that they are exploiting him, he accepts the role and its rewards. Ronnie buys an unregistered handgun and strokes his ego at firing ranges. He meets his online idol, a charismatic leader of the alt-right. However, when his identity as Cuck emerges, his macho persona shatters. Facing online shaming, Ronnie takes solace in the one symbol of masculinity he has left, his gun. It's literally about a dude trying to join the alt-right because he was radicalized on YouTube.
Wow.
I'm not surprised nobody saw it, nobody cared, because that sounds like garbage.
Yep.
You see, they've made movies that use legitimate intellectual property, like Ghostbusters, make it woke, and some people do go see it.
Right.
They complain about it after the fact. This movie has no legitimate IP behind it. It's
Right.
just woke, stupid narratives, and nobody wanted to go see it. The people who went to go see Ghostbusters were like, I like Ghostbusters.
Right.
And then when they realized what it was, they're like, this movie is awful.
Yeah.
Now they're remaking Ghostbusters as like an original, like an actual
Nothing ever
sequel.
happened.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a real sequel?
A real sequel.
I haven't really read into it yet.
The
but
trailer
I saw
came out-
that the kid from Stranger Things is in it.
Is he?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think Paul Rudd's in it, right?
awesome.
Yeah,
I love Paul Rudd.
Is he?
I think so.
And it's basically like, I think, Egon's kids or something.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
The trailer's out, and he says something like, no one's seen a ghost in 30 years. So it's an actual third sequel to the second one.
Sweet.
They're totally discounting.
They were
that
supposed to
one.
do this. I remember when the Ghostbusters thing all happened.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not sure if it was Harold Ramis or somebody said, I'd be interested in an all-female cast. And then all of a sudden, they changed what was supposed to be a sequel to the first two into an alternate reality. You know, they were going to do like a Ghostbusters universe.
Really?
They want to do like East Coast Ghostbusters and West Coast Ghostbusters or something.
Well, that failed.
Oh, totally failed. They were like, because everybody wanted to do a movie universe after Marvel started getting big. And it's shocking to me no one figured it out. Like, you realize Marvel just made a series of movies and then kind of like barely connected them.
Yeah.
It's like you watch the movie, at the very end, they'd be like, Thor, and that was it. It was like a preview.
After the credits. Got
Yeah,
people
exactly.
to sit through the credits,
Yeah,
too. It was
right?
genius.
That's impressive.
Yep.
I sat through them all.
And then Avengers brought it all together, and that's how they had the universe.
Yep.
And then what does like DC try to do? Let's just make Justice League. It's like, but you've never established any of these characters.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they made Aquaman after it. Like, how does that make sense? He was a nobody in that movie. Like, what are you doing?
That's a good point.
Anyway, so for some reason, they decided to make you know what? Maybe this was their gamble. That Joker was DC, and maybe they were thinking, if we do one that's based on real life politics, people might go see it. So basically make the same movie as Joker, but make it about the alt-right and make it about America.
Yeah.
And call it cuck, and then people are gonna. You know what? This is evidence that people really overestimate the value of Twitter. The internet is not real life.
Yeah, good
None
point.
of us are real. We're literally just some random people in a basement complaining about stuff.
There's always those like just alternate version movies that come out too.
Right.
Almost of everything like
Bugs Life and Ants.
yes, but those were actually both okay movies. I'm talking like the top grossing film, and then the one that like is all D-list actors that you don't know anyone, but actually the main character, or not even the main character. There's the one guy that they paid for like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
That was recognizable because he was like an extra in one blockbuster film.
Dude,
you know what I'm talking about?
there's like
That's what cuck seems like to me.
Go on Amazon and you'll see this. There'll be like the Iron Hero.
Right.
And it's like Iron Man, but the lowest quality thing.
Yes, exactly.
You know why they do it though, right? Because they know some people will be tricked into watching it.
Exactly. Oh, what was this, Iron Man?
And you watch for 10 minutes and you're like,
Oh,
Nope.
I paid for this.
dude, I've watched some of those movies. It's sometimes it's funny.
They're funny.
They're so bad.
They're so bad they're
Yeah.
funny. And some people actually like that. Like those
Totally.
kind of movies that
Yeah.
they're so bad they laugh at the horrendous acting and writing and
Yeah.
I could go on.
But how
I won't.
come Birds of Prey couldn't do that?
Oh man.
You know, like, I'm sorry, they changed the name Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah.
But then now I'm seeing it back as I don't know. They need
No,
to make
look,
up their
look.
minds with
Here's
the name
what
of
I'm trying
that
to say.
movie, so we can make fun of it correctly.
Properly. Yes.
I want to be fair. It's possible this cuck film is a good movie.
It's possible.
I'm not going to see it though.
Yeah, no,
I don't know anybody who
Right
wants to
out.
see it. And apparently nobody did see it. So
Apparently no one did.
Here's the best part. Apparently it was released on DVD already. Like, did they say when it was released
Straight
on
to DVD? I don't know.
Yeah, someone posted this, that it was it came out in October. Let's say on June 19, 2019, it was announced that Gravitas Ventures had acquired the distribution. It was officially released in select theaters, Google Play as well, on October 4th. Wait, it's on Amazon? Theaters and VOD. I think the $0 thing is wrong. It's got to be wrong.
I mean, I don't know.
Because you'd imagine.
How do you
listen,
find that information
if
out? I don't know where to look.
Amazon Prime would randomly suggest it at some point, right? And someone might, like, come on, one person bought it. What? Look, I think it's
Well,
wrong.
it said $0 in the box office, right?
Oh, that's right,
No
right,
one went
theaters.
to go see it in the theaters.
That makes sense.
So
But I have to imagine even the show's producers might just dump some money to make it seem like, come on, man.
I mean, think about it though. It's expensive to go to the movies.
Even
So
if
you got to want to see a movie
Dude.
to go to the movies nowadays.
So you're saying
people are wise, getting wiser with their money. I think and would hope that anyway. You know, it's like, and it came out the same day as the Joker. Like the Joker, he's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest villains of
was a
our
good- it
lifetime.
was a good movie.
Like,
Yeah, like
and it was an
100%.
amazing movie. But
Yeah.
like Batman and the Joker, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they've been fighting each other for a long time. It's like everybody knows who the Joker is. Everybody.
So here's the scenario. The people who literally made Cuck it was released, and instead of seeing their own movie, went to see the Joker instead.
Yeah.
They're like walking to the theater, and they're like, this is it, our movie's in the theater. You gotta go see Joker instead.
But the Joker comes out
Yeah.
today. It's like they're walking down the red carpet, but they rolled it out themselves.
Well, look, the audience, look at this.
Yeah.
The audience score is 34%.
Oof.
So apparently, look, 88 people watched it. That's some money.
I wonder if they had to be paid.
Probably.
Please, here's some
All
money.
right,
Watch
man.
our movie.
All right. So look,
All right.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
see it,
I
so
didn't either.
it's not a fair
I
review.
feel
But
bad. I feel bad for the actors.
why would you do this stuff? Just don't. Just stay
I
away
don't
from
know.
it. All right.
Don't put it on your resume.
Nope, do not. It's like it never happened.
Let's grab the last few super chats. We're getting close to winding down for the day, but we're going to read the last few super chats from everybody. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way, YouTube, they'll send you the link to the unlisted full version. Even if you miss it, you should be able to watch it, but we'll put it up in the community section so you can always get it. And you can follow us. There's my name. There's Adam.
There's me. Follow me up.
Send suggestions to Adam.
Yep.
And just generally follow us if you want to see some shenanigans.
Yeah,
and hear me-
Twitter's the best place probably to send me any story ideas, but I'm also on Instagram. You can follow me. Check out my
Rad.
stuff.
We'll grab these last few super chats. David says Wolverines. You'll get it later. All right. I'll figure it
right.
out soon. Jab Ing says, hey, Tim, was listening to yesterday's podcast, and the idea that Mormons would survive the apocalypse got me thinking about the Mormon group mentioned in the Fallout New Vegas DLC.
Or what
Oh,
about The
yeah.
Expanse?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Expanse?
Like the first season, but it's been a while.
Well, there's a huge, major Mormon population.
In outer
And
space?
I mean, no other religions are really prominent.
Yeah.
But the Mormons are very prominent. You
Yeah.
know, they're super rich and established. You know, so it's interesting that everything about The Expanse really does feel like that's where we could be heading.
Be cool.
It's a cool show. I really
Yeah.
like it.
All right, let's see. John McGuire says, easy solution to voting and social distancing. Just open more stations. Send me my check for that easy solution. You got it, buddy. Lycan King says, watching from work. Thanks for keeping us informed and stay safe, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sean says, did you hear about the MTG Death Corona card? No, what is that?
No, I don't know about it.
I'll Google it.
Ooh, interesting.
What? Google it.
MTG Death Corona
Steve
card.
RB says, look up Project Thor. Tungsten rods from God. Supposedly scrapped U.S. project. Power of a nuke. Kinetic. With no fallout. Skipped my first post. Isn't that the thing from that movie?
Wow.
It's from science
G.I.
fiction.
Joe.
Yeah, it's from science fiction.
G.I. Joe. Where the
don't know.
satellite launches a tungsten rod from a satellite and then it slams into London and wipes out all of London.
Whoa.
It's supposed to be pretty
That's
legendary.
G.I. Joe, right?
I don't know.
That was a fun movie.
That's crazy.
Fun
yeah,
and
we'll
silly.
Look into it. Thanks.
El Roja says 21 million cell phone numbers were deactivated in China in the past few weeks. They are claiming it's just people cutting down from 2 to 1, but they obviously proven the perception is more important. And landline phones, like 8 million.
Yeah. 8 million? No,
Yeah.
800,000
Landline
that
phones?
was the last
okay.
number that I saw. I
right.
don't know about 8 million.
The Great Dub Dude says, what happens when someone votes for the elderly family member that may not be in the mind state to realize what's even happening? Too unreliable. Angry Bellsprout says, strange that only 2 people at CNN are sick. Maybe affair that led to fluid swapping. No. There are probably a lot more people sick. No one cares who they are.
But you know what? But with that last one about the elderly person that it doesn't even know what's going on, why are they voting?
Yeah.
Why are they still voting? If they don't know what's going on, what is their vote? If they don't understand and aren't with it, like, wouldn't their vote just kind of be like a mindless checking of whoever they think they like?
That's what they do.
Right, but that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
I'm not saying they don't have the right to vote, but if they don't understand what's going on, it just seems a little...
The same is true for young people who vote. If they don't know what's going on. So how do you set limits? I just don't know.
Well, I feel like young people need to know what's going on. That's for certain.
correct.
You know, but if you're
They
that
don't
old
vote.
where you can't figure out what's going on because you're losing it, like some prominent
It's
figures we know.
but it's a bell curve. It's like if you're really old and you're in decline and you're really young and you're on the, you're going up, you're both still at the same level of knowledge and voting. It's not until later in your life.
Well, but one's a choice and one isn't a choice.
Not
That's
necessarily.
That's the difference.
Like
Well,
an
if you're-
18-year-old
if you're-
will never have the life experience of a father with 4 kids.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, but if people are saying go, get out and vote, and I think that is too short. It's get out and know who you want to vote for and then vote.
Don't vote unless
Like
you know.
learn,
But listen,
learn who's
people
doing stuff.
But that's like saying stupid people should be allowed to vote.
Well, that is not.
I'm
what
not
we're
saying anyone shouldn't have the right to vote. I'm saying, learn who you're voting for.
The problem is, what if someone was like, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because he said he was going to give me $100.
And the orange man's bad.
Yeah, you'd be like, that's not true. I'd be like, yeah, it is. You're like, no, it isn't. Yeah, it is.
And
Okay.
he gets to vote.
It's like, is that
True.
person's on the same level of Joe Biden, of
Okay.
Joe Biden muttering and mumbling.
Well, go vote. That's fine.
Right.
No, I'm not trying to deny anyone that fact.
I'm just saying,
I'm just asking the question. You know, he's asking, what about family members voting for their older generation? It's like, so they're not even voting for themselves because they don't know what's going on. Like, that doesn't make sense.
That's what young
to me.
people are doing.
They're voting for old people.
Yes.
They're going in and saying, "Hi, I'm this old person. I'm going to vote."
No. Young people are going in and being like, I would like an 80-year-old man an 80-year-old socialist who just had a heart attack, please.
No. That's who they're voting for.
Right.
They're saying that I'm voting for my older family member who doesn't know what's going on.
What do you?
Read their super
Yeah,
chat again.
I know. I don't understand.
Yeah, they're saying
Like Biden's kids voting for Biden.
no. They're read the super chat again. I can't read it right here.
What happens when someone votes for their elderly family member that may not be in the mind state
Yeah.
to realize
Right.
that's even happening?
voting for them?
So for like
not
voting-
like they're not running for office. They're actually placing their vote for them.
Oh, I see.
Right. That's
Yeah.
why. Does my question now make
Voting
more sense?
in their stead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're
just
voting in
like
their
voting
stead.
for
That's
them for
voter
office. Like,
fraud.
what?
No, so now you get what I'm saying. It's
It's-
like
yeah, voter fraud.
Yeah. That is just voter
yeah,
fraud.
exactly. It's voter fraud. It's like
Okay.
how is that even a case?
Yeah.
Like people
Right.
are actually doing that? Like that's crazy to me.
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah. Word. Let's
All
grab
right.
some more super
Makes
chats.
sense now.
Angry Bazinski says, was reading Wikipedia on Wuhan and citizens protested the city building, a big trash incinerator, in July 2019. Kind of raised an eyebrow. Benefit of doubt. Brian, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
John McGuire said, we used to burn witches. Why not 5G towers? Same basis in reality.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go. Stonebleed says, since you're from Chicago, do you think there will ever be another Max Headroom incident? No, unfortunately.
I don't know. I'm from Chicago. I don't know what that is. What is it?
Someone parked their car next to a broadcast tower and hijacked it.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, it's famous. And
Whoa.
Max Headroom was a TV show, and so they pretended to be the TV show character and hijacked it. Funny.
That's funny.
No one ever caught him.
Oh,
Simon
cool.
Ennifer,
Right
it's actually in a Muse video. I think it might be Dig Down.
on. Love that. song.
Matthew Bellamy is Max Headroom.
Ah, cool.
I'll show you after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Simon Ennifer says, watch Survivors on YouTube, BBC TV series 1975. A pandemic caused by a Chinese scientist who drops a virus vial, then spreads it around the world. First episode, Fourth Horseman, is like the news. Miss Raven says, I read type O blood is least likely to contract CV.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true. Sensoka says there's an AI that imitates Trump's voice amazingly well. They made it read the Darth Plagueis copy pasta. Look it up on YouTube. It's scary funny. They did it with Joe Rogan. The Hazmat says the first two hardest hit countries, Italy and Iran, had close economic ties or relations with China. Truth Seeker says 5G frequency are in the range they use for crowd control, etc. They can harm the only one that is acknowledged by telecom is heating. Look again, scientific article papers, RF are actually pretty harmful. Noel Wayne says the real question is if you are surprised if the companies would spy on private data. Of course they will.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dustin Strickland says, IT guy here. Intel management engine is real. Low power x86 core running Minix. It's all Intel CPU after Core 2 Duo. Same access to system as main CPU and AMD also. White hats have hacked them. They're very esoteric. I'm not sure many people understood what that was.
Yeah.
Eli says 5G is the same frequency used by the military for crowd control and in TSA equipment. We're also being told that this is safe based on safety standards that were placed by the FCC back in 94 or 96. John McGuire says if you want an easy source for the theories behind 5G, just go to InfoWars. All the info you could want there. Scary part, Alex has been right on too many things, but he's been wrong on a lot of things. And if he's going to come out and claim that interdimensional demons, are using 5G to I watched him on Alex Jones. I understand if people find him entertaining. I'm not going to go to him for a source for information in that regard. Darth Gary says this is so stupid. Everything is cancerous if you have too much. Venetian Migtau says TimcastIRL expect to see more paranoia conspiracy theories. It's because we can't trust the media or government. I completely agree with that.
And it's interesting.
Swampy says Bill Gates did a seminar talking about CO2 levels and future sustainability. He said specifically the only way is to reduce the population and thus the services they require. Jesse says, have you heard of Elon Musk's Starlink? That's the low orbit internet, I believe.
That's why I said satellites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For during the 5G conversation.
man.
Swampy says Bill Gates also said in most recent interviews, world leaders would have everyone locked down till all humans globally have COVID vaccine and use the ID 2020 chips to track who is and isn't vaxxed. Sounds like a nightmare dystopia, but
Agreed.
I wouldn't be surprised how crazy everything's getting.
Yeah.
Victor says U of A Fairbanks concluded that WTC7 could not collapse because of the fire in any scenario proposed. Why the hell has MSM not mentioned this study? Because they don't care. Drunk Shovel says it comes from China. There you go. Zodu says, does anyone find it interesting that only the average U.S. citizen is getting CV-19, but very few politicians? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you are wrong. A bunch of politicians have gotten it, especially in Iran, and a bunch of celebrities. And that makes sense because celebrities and politicians are flying all the time.
And there's some senators here that have gotten it.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah.
Cuomo's brother has
There was
it.
a couple congressmen who got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Chris Cuomo of CNN got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Didn't Rand Paul test positive?
He did test positive. I think he's okay. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been politicians.
Yeah.
Bridge Runner says that poet Adam read in New York was the past equivalent of a virtue signaling nonsense tweet. It was written by an internationalist looking out for her people, not the well-being of America. It's a cool poem, but I
Right.
believe it was added like way late.
Yeah, it's not like it's American policy. It's just really interesting that it's written like right on the wall when you're like walking into the museum of, and you know, it's a whole different time too.
Yeah. Quiet Guitarist says, if nukes start dropping for mutually assured destruction, I'm going to rush to the bathroom to be an environmental storytelling toilet skeleton. There you go. DevCode says 4G your phone uses the cell tower, 5G your house is the cell tower, 6G your body is the cell tower. Color Me Triggered says there is a Shaq O'Neal movie called Kazam. And then people thought of like a different one or something, the fake one,
something
Shazam
like
or something.
Right.
Elliot Sheedy said experiments on the public. Fernald Center, radiation used on, I can't use that on YouTube, unfortunately, I can't say the word, funded partly by Quaker Oats and U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. They were fed radioactive food without knowledge or disclaimer. Yeah, we've done a bunch of
wow.
crazy stuff.
Yeah, we
You
have.
can't say that word?
No, you can't not say that
That's
word
a
on
very
YouTube.
mean word.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the R word, mind you. And for real, but YouTube will, like, don't be surprised if this whole feed gets deleted.
No.
Yep.
Well, you didn't say it, so we're good.
No, but I'm just saying if you do.
No, I'm not going to.
David Ross says earthquake in California. Really?
Another one.
Yeah. Patrick Smith, thanks for the super chat. NPH says the U.S. prohibited the sale of medical supplies to its allies, such as Canada. Is this an every country for themselves situation? Yes.
Certainly feels that way.
Yeah, it's looking
Yep.
like it.
Man, we are getting slammed by these super chats.
Thank you guys.
Seed Fan says about what that guy was saying before. Our states have shut their borders because our prime minister has never been proactive about anything and has let the states deal with the epidemic by themselves. Luis Gomez, thanks for the super chat, saying he likes turtles. Darth Gary says, wait, did I miss a segment about Mormons? That was yesterday. Check it out. In the community section of this tab, you'll find it. Episode, I believe that was 39. Andrew Starr says, Canada depends way too much on the U.S. I agree. John says, what are your thoughts as to how the world changes after the dust settles from this pandemic? Everyone's got a code proving they've been vaccinated and everyone goes super hard nationalist.
Yep.
Bridgeburner says, Tim, do more research into 5G. It's not to cull the population, but can be harmful, and they are doing it anyway. It will also do away with what little privacy we had left. I don't trust them with it. Well, I don't trust them with it either, but I've heard this too many times. I'll look into it, though, for sure. Sean says, what happened was Wizard of the Coast accidentally printed a card named Space Godzilla Death Corona. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was part of the Godzilla things that you
Oh,
guys were
really?
talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if Space Corona though.
Space
Wait, what?
Godzilla Corona. I found
You know
it.
what? It's funny. I actually have Mythic Spoiler with all of the Godzillas right here,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it. Space BioQuartz Space Godzilla.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, but it's BioQuartz Space Godzilla. That's what it says.
All right. The Hazmat says, first two hardest hit countries, Iran and Italy, had close economic ties relations with China. DJ Fermi says, why did you steal your bro's website? Internal family matter. Not true. Cody Hansen, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Freebird says, Biden is voting for Trump. He joined the Trump train. Yeah. Furby Slayer says, in CA houses, get stacks of absentee ballots. People get ballots for their dead parents. It's fraud. Not enough to change the outcome. For mail-in. I get it. Yep. Mark Rasmussen says, Tim Pool is the Edison Carter of our era. Not sure who that is.
Neither do I.
Mr. Paul R says, have you seen my Corona video by Chris Mann on YouTube? We'll laugh your backside off. Dalton Lucas says, the real question is, what's the frequency, Kenneth? Ant says, watching Tim struggle with the voting on behalf of someone was so cringe. Well, because someone said, what if someone votes for someone? And it's like, when you say you vote for Biden, you're not voting on behalf of, you're saying you're voting
Yeah,
to
Right.
elect them.
Yeah, I get what you were thinking.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize what the issue was.
I was like, why would you vote? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
it makes
Right.
sense.
Baruba says, Tim, check out YouTube Lawai. You might want to talk to this guy. He lived in China for 10 years, was teaching English. I've heard of him, yeah. Peyton John says, Nigel Houston or Shane O'Neill, who's better?
They're both really clean. I don't know.
It depends. Shane O'Neill's more technical, I think.
Yeah,
He's the
okay.
guy who does like tray flip, crook, nollie tray out. And Nigel's the guy who's like switch front feed down like a 20-stair handrail. You know what I mean?
People don't know what that means.
Whatever,
but,
I do.
They're both incredible skaters. I don't know. I would love to watch them play game skate.
Aurelian Giroud and Chris Joslin. Did I just mess his name
Chris
up?
Joslin?
Yeah,
You do this every
no,
time. You
sorry.
should really lock this down.
I should. But Aurelian Giroud, like that dude on Instagram, it's like
Oh,
some of the craziest,
flies.
cleanest
It's
skateboarding
amazing.
I've ever seen. Dude's crazy.
Chris Joslin.
All right, where are we at? Sword says, first time ever super chatting. Just want to thank you for your work. I listen to you all the time while machining. Appreciate it. Patrick Smith says, Google Alamo Draft House. Only movie theater I'll go to. Saw a Rambo marathon there. Epic. Cool. David, thanks for coming a member. And
Thank you.
we're about to, well, it's time to wrap up.
Oh, man.
So hit the like button if you haven't.
Hit that like button.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Feel free to share.
Notification bell. Tell all your friends we're the coolest people you've ever seen, ever.
We are
Yes.
so cool.
Even though it's not true. I'm kidding.
Just lie.
It could be true.
Yes.
Oh,
And if
sad.
it is, share more.
But it does help. You know, YouTube is suppressing independent content and propping up major networks. So when you do share the stuff, like the unlisted link, you know, share it. Share the link you have right now.
Yeah.
Then it helps us overcome the algorithmic obstacles they're throwing in our way. And they're giving all of the freebies to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. It's really annoying.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys.
But that's life.
Yep.
So
So,
take a
yep,
go with
hit
the
me
bed.
up. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube. I'm on here. You can
You can send this guy suggestions for stories
Yep.
that you brings up on the show and all that.
Yep.
So other than that, again, we post this every day in the community section. We will start
will, yes.
making sure of that Monday through
We're gonna figure
Friday.
that out.
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you Monday at 8 p.m.
Have a good
Adios.
weekend.
Bye, guys.